You've got the look in your eyes. You're on a mission, burning ambition. You've got your eyes on the prize. You've gotta rise to the challenge. Show 'em what you got. Step up and take what's yours. You are kings now, Clash of Titans.
Ready?
Yep.
3.
Yep.
Yeah. 3, 2. Hey everyone, Anthony with Tornado Tag Podcast. This is what is it, 38? Does that say 38? 38, episode 38. We're rolling along here. It's we're getting there. We got some cool stuff to go over. First thing I want to go over, just our quick intro. If you guys like what you hear, and please hit that like, subscribe button if you're watching this on Facebook, YouTube, or listening at on any podcast platform. Give us that subscribe. It definitely helps us out. If there's any rating system you can do as well, that definitely is much appreciated. Below we do have links. I know if you go on Anchor, there is a thing you can, like, if you want to do like a Patreon through PayPal, like through
support,
like a support thing, you can do that as well.
Wow.
As well as we have our merch page. So if you want to get a cool Tornado Tag T-shirt, and we'll see you at the wrestling events, and you're wearing it, well, that'd be awesome. I definitely, using a term here, I'll definitely mark out if I see someone wearing a Tornado Tag Podcast shirt.
What does that mean?
What says Dame?
Yeah. But yeah, so the other thing, two things we want to cover real quick during this intro, before we get started, is I want to say 2 congratulations. We're 1 day away from our intro music that you just heard. No Rain Checks. Their album comes out tomorrow, so really excited about that. They did a really good job at letting us use the Clash of Titans, which is like an old school 80s hair metal or rock metal wrestling song, which is great. And then we also have Murder My Dude.
Hey!
1 year anniversary on the 27th.
Yeah, we just passed. Very exciting. Also very exciting, we have royalty on the line.
Yeah?
We have royalty on the line. We have the Prince of Camden on the line.
Yes.
Very excited about that.
Yeah, so great segue. So we do have Desean Pratt on the phone. Really excited about it. How you doing, man?
I'm doing wonderfully, man. Thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, man. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you calling in and kind of being our spotlight this week. And kind of we're gonna pick your brain a little bit, see how you got into business, maybe some of your influences, and go from there. Sound good?
Yeah, that's perfect. Let's roll with it. Let's rock.
Perfect. So let's start with that. How did you get into pro wrestling? What did it start at a young age? Were you always a fan, or?
So, yeah, I mean, it definitely started at a young age. It's actually one of my favorite stories to tell when people ask me this. I actually kind of discovered pro wrestling by accident. So, you know, I was 4 years old. Usually, after Saturday morning cartoons, I'm running outside to go hang out with my best friend down the street. But one weekend, he wasn't home. I think he was visiting family for the weekend, so I decided to just kick back in and stay in. So it was right after that Saturday morning cartoon block from like 7 in the morning to like 12 or 1 o'clock. And when the 1 o'clock hour came on, I saw my very first episode of WWF Superstars.
Here we go.
Yep.
And I'm just like, you know, I was blown away. Like, literally, I'm like, whoa, what is this? I've never seen this before. I've never even, like, you know, gravitated to professional wrestling ever. So I literally sat down and I watched a full hour of WWF Superstars, and I was hooked. You know, again, you're seeing these larger-than-life characters on the TV screen, bright colors. I'm like, you know what? I'm in this. This is it. And you know, from then on, I was hooked. I was a professional wrestling fan from age 4.
Who was one of your first all-time favorites that you liked?
So, it was a tag team, believe it or not, that actually really, really did it for me. And actually, it was them that kind of helped me get into the sport of professional wrestling, I was always a fan of the Rockers.
Yes, I had the fingers
I was
crossed
always
here
a
on
fan.
camera. That was my first team I seen too. I was my very first.
That was my
I guess demolition.
Yeah, no.
If that's the one
It
thing
was
you
the
actually
Rockers.
notice
I mean,
about
like the Heart
wrestling,
Foundation was cool. Like I love the Heart Foundation, but it was something about the. It was probably the wonky colors that they were wearing
Yeah, man.
that did it for me. Again, I'm a young kid. I gravitate to bright colors.
Yeah, and
So-
they were high energy. They ran to the ring. Their music was cool. They
Demolition kicked their stinking
Exactly.
teeth in.
Yeah, right. So that was it. So I mean, and that was around that time that they were really getting their shine in the WWF, so that they were on TV weekly. So I watched them, and it was great. It was awesome. Like anytime I got the chance to watch the Rockers perform, it was awesome for me. Like even to the point of I'm gonna take it back for all these youngins out here that don't know what it's like to go to your video store on a Friday night and rent VHS, wrestling VHSs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would always I would literally just scope through and again, Legion of Doom was cool, Demolition was cool, but if I didn't see Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels being featured, I didn't want to watch it.
Yeah.
They literally had it was either if they were on the card, if they weren't on the card, I didn't care about the show. That was literally it.
How did you handle the heel turn as a kid?
Oh, I cried my eyes out. I literally remember it. I remember crying my eyes out. When he kicked Marty through that, super kicked Marty, and he threw him through the barbershop window. It was traumatic for me.
This is bringing back memories.
It was hard.
Sorry, this is
It
bringing back
really is.
memories.
I'm getting a tear in my eye thinking about it.
For me, it was when the Mega
but
Powers
even-
exploded.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what? Right? That was all right, cool. That was all right. But the Rockers breaking up. That was it. For me. And it was funny because I was recently watching a Shawn Michaels documentary and on the network, and they touched on that, and I felt myself get misty eyed there.
Yeah. I was a weird kid then because I was so attached to heels. I always liked the heels.
Sure.
So, but
Sure,
the
sure.
Rockers were the only team that I liked that were not heels that I rooted for. They were my favorite, but I was always like a Piper, Perfect, Jake the Snake, Macho
Right.
Man because he
Right.
was bad. So when he kicked Marty, I was like, oh, even as a kid, I just remember Sean's going to be a solo guy and he's going to be bad,
Yeah.
and I just liked it as a
Yeah.
kid. My first tear was when Macho Man got bit by the cobra.
Oh,
I bawled like
Yes.
a baby.
That was awesome. That was that. Yeah, that was a good one too. Yes, that was a very good one.
what about in the mid 2000s with the Rockers reunion?
Oh boy.
We don't want to talk about
Yeah.
that.
I was, wait, are we talking about was that Marty and Leaf Cassidy?
Oh no, God.
That was or the actual reunion? 'Cause that was
When
pretty
Sean
cool, too.
when Sean kept his gear and didn't wear the Rockers gear, and Marty still wore his Rockers gear.
right, which was always kind of odd to me. But you know what? It even made me more gravitate more to Marty Jannetty because of that.
Yeah.
He was
Still
so
had,
good.
held on to the Rockers.
That match with
I
Angle.
like Shawn Michaels, but I gravitated more to Marty.
Yeah, I tell you what, I had a friend who met Marty, and he said his ankle is horrible. His ankle is
Yeah.
4 times its size. It's in really rough shape.
Well, I remember he came in for Chikara a couple times.
Yeah, team with the 1, 2, 3 kid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And even then, he was talking about it. And for me, of course, you got to be professional in the locker room. But
Not mark
I'm
out.
sitting there putting my gear. I'm putting my gear on, and I got this wide eye. My eyes were as wide as dinner plates.
I've yet to
Watching this
meet
guy,
Sean, but I'm sure he would be the one to do it to me as well.
For sure, I don't know. I think I would call him a jerk. I'm like, you ruined my childhood. It's like you ruined my childhood.
So when did you make that turn into being a fan? That you're saying, you know what, I want to do this.
So, well, it was different stages, of my life. So, again, always being a wrestling fan. I don't care about talking about this. A lot of people will hide this part of their life when they get into the professional wrestling business. But I was a backyarder. Mm-hmm. So that was cool for us. I gravitated to backyard wrestling, and it was a group of my friends. We all used to go ahead and do it every Saturday. go to each other's backyards and beat the heck out of each other with weapons and, mimicking what we saw on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually around that time when we stopped doing it, I went to my first CZW show and down at the arena.
Okay.
And it was there when I was like, and I saw again, it was like my first wrestler that I saw, I gravitated to was Ruckus. At the time, Ruckus was just doing all these crazy flips and everything. And I'm just like, wow, this is really cool. This is awesome. So I remember me and again, it was just always a group of us. Every, second Saturday of the month, we're going down South Philly, hitting the CZW shows. And I remember Maven Bentley was walking around. And, we kind of got like word that he knew how to, he was like the contact about getting into the school. So we, tapped Maven on the shoulder and said, hey, we're guys here, we want to join the school. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Well, let me go get Chris Hero for you.
Oh.
And so, right, like, it's just like, oh, yeah, let me go get Chris Hero for you, who was, the champion at the time. So, like, Chris Hero, like, who was, like, the man of CZW at that time, like, comes out, and he's just, like, sitting down having a powwow with us. Like, literally, hey, like, really cool guy. Hey, guys, sit down, circle up. And he's telling us about it, about the school and everything. And about a few months later after that conversation with Chris Hero, like, I was in. I, worked super massive amounts of overtime and got my first little bit of money for a wrestling school.
Yeah, because it ain't cheap sometimes,
Yeah, I can definitely imagine. So you're pretty much born and raised in the Philly area.
Correct.
Yeah. So CCW obviously was your first in. How long were you training before you got your first match?
Believe it or not, everyone goes no way when I say this, and it's not a lie. 7 months.
Wow.
Yeah, that's quick.
Trajan was 6, right? He said he trained for about 6 months before his
I thought you
first
said
match.
9.
Was it? I forget. Yeah. Everyone's different.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, exactly, and that's exactly it. Everyone was different. So, like, and a lot of people, and it's funny, believe it, I tell people, they're just like, wait, how did you get it so quickly? Like, it's hard to grasp. And I always tell people, like, to be honest, like, in a weird way, backyard wrestling helped me do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, most backyard wrestlers are guys who broke too many beds in their household, so their parents said, if you're going to do it outside.
Right. Well, yeah. So, but, like, even then, too, even, just to further it, so, like, when me and my group of friends, we stopped our backyard, quote-unquote, federation.
Mm-hmm.
Our friends' parents got tired of us beating the crap out of each other in their backyard. So we had to stop. A few years later, that's exactly, they were afraid that someone's going to die in their backyard.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe, like, 2 or 3 years later, we hook up with another group of backyarders. They found us on Facebook, and we're like, yo, we thought we were the only backyard fed in Jersey. That's cool. Hey, do you guys want to come down and hang out with us? And these dudes had it, like, made. They had a 18 by 18 high spots ring in their backyard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, big time. That's a
Like,
big time.
built up,
Backyard.
they put their money together, got a ring, and it was in their backyard. And, like, they had, like, their friends coming to watch the shows and everything. And, like, they had their own website and roster pages. We were like, yo, let's get in with these guys.
Now, the funny thing about backyard wrestling, were you one of the guys who had to wear a mask because you didn't have enough roster, so you always had you as the yourself, and then you come out with a mask later, so you had more roster?
We did, which is great. You had to play multiple characters through the show, which is
Yeah,
awesome.
because there's only like 8 people.
Yeah.
And a completely different moveset to match.
Right. And then it was just like, we put the stuff out on YouTube, and people were just like, oh, man, you guys got to get trained. You guys are good looking. You guys got to get trained. And, we started to, really gravitate towards that. And it was just like, yo, let's do this.
Now, were you into, like, high school sports and stuff, or, like, were you an athlete?
I was. Yeah. I did amateur wrestling. I did that for about what I didn't do in my freshman year because I was scared because I was just a small, scrawny freshman. But like my sophomore year, I went into it, and then sophomore, junior, senior year, I did. All through high school, yeah, I wrestled.
Now, obviously, you did get experience later under a mask, so you jumped right into Chikara, right? That's where you trained?
Right, yeah.
Because at that time, the CZW school and the Chikara school, they're both at the arena.
Right, they were conjoined. Right, right,
was
right.
it at the arena, or
school.
was it the arena, or was it still when they were in Jersey? Because
no, the CZW arena. Yeah,
because CZW school was in Jersey.
Arena, yep.
It was like I think Chikara was Tuesday, right, D? And then Tuesday and Wednesday, and CZW was Thursday. I forget my days. It's been
it was like
years.
Chikara was Tuesday and Wednesday, and CZW was like Mondays and Thursday.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So when you were training down there and you knew something was coming up, one certain exercise, what was the one exercise that made you go in the back of your head? Shit.
Oh, man.
DJ bumping on the floor.
See, you know what? I didn't get that. We didn't get the bumping on the floor. Thankfully, I think it was the banderas.
Really?
That really scared me. Because at the time Claudio was doing them.
Oh man, he could launch you into the fifth row.
Exactly, and like at the time, Claudio didn't know his own strength at times, so he would launch us in the air.
I still think he's one of the best on the planet right now.
Oh, Claudio's so good.
Yes, absolutely.
For those who don't know, we're talking about Cesaro.
Yeah, for those who don't know, you're right. Yeah, so, but like it was just like I'm watching him just launching these students in the air, and then I'm standing there. And he's in the corner. We're corner to corner. He's just like, you ready? And I'm just like, no. But I'm just like, all right, it's now or never. And literally, like, it was just like, man, if I would have let go, I probably would have touched the ceiling of the arena.
Who's some of the guys that were in school while you were in school? Because obviously you said Chris Harrow's already one of the names there. You have Cesaro or
Claudio Castagnoli.
Yeah, helping you.
Claudio, yeah, he was there. Yeah, we had Quack, who was the head trainer. We would get something. Most of the time, we would get like Icarus would come down, Hollow Wicked would come down, Eddie Kingston would come down, and then a couple times too. Like a lot of guys from a couple guys from CCW would come through. Like I remember Sabian or Black Cheese came through a couple times, and then he would just have like different guests come in. Like I remember. One specific night of training, he sends Quack, sends out a massive email. He's like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make training tonight, but you guys should get down there and come and train. And so we're like, all right, it's kind of cryptic, but all right, whatever. And so we go there, and, Delirious from Ring of Honor was our trainer for the night.
Oh, right.
And...
Nice.
And then like we're going through. So it was Delirious and Daisy Hayes. They were going through training with us, and like maybe like an hour or two into training, Matt Seidel just walks in the door.
Oh, cool!
Wow.
And we're just like, and I'm looking at my buddy over here, and I'm like, dude, Matt Seidel is like going to train with us. This is really awesome. You know what I mean? Like this is cool. Like this is a great night to come and train.
Now, we know you a lot from PPW, and we know you've just kind of made a heel flip yourself. Where do you take your style from? Was it a bit of the Rockers, training with a Matt Seidel style person? Where's your high flying style come from?
Well, a lot of my high flying comes from Chikara. It's definitely lucha base or lucha influence.
Mm-hmm.
So, so you're learning a lot of, springboarding, a lot of lucha libre, and really just studying a lot of different wrestlers. Like I said, the Rockers being a huge influence on my in-ring style. Even to this day, like watching Prince Devitt, AKA Finn Balor. Watching him in New Japan was always right. Who's back? By the way, yeah. Watching him in New Japan, in the Super J Cup tournaments, watching Liger, watching Muda, a lot of even just watching Dragon Gate too, Shima, watching Yoshino, Naruki Doi, all those guys. I kind of just like picked and chose and like, you know, kind of just, it was just kind of like these little ingredients to mix into my style, so to speak.
So just kind of going linear through your career there, after school you wind up in a tag team. The Osirian Portal, people may know, Master Ophidian. And do you have any like preference having that wide background as a tag team wrestler? Now you're more of a solo act. What has been better for you, do you think? Or what did you kind of take to quicker? Or like, what are the differences for you?
I took to being a singles wrestler a lot quicker. With a tag team, a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot that goes into tag team wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's such an intricate art. And that's why it's even remotely, it's difficult at times to put together a lot of tag team matches because, you know, there's 4 bodies in there.
Mm-hmm.
So not only do you have to worry about the next spot for your opponents, you have to know your cue for when, you know, your partner's spot is done.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes in.
Parts.
Yes, a lot of movement, a lot of moving parts, and you know, it took me a bit to really like know my spots and pick them, and you know, so but that's where training came into play.
Definitely.
You know? So spending hours and hours in training, you know, doing practice matches, and tag matches, and things of that nature, and knowing what my cues were, and knowing how to. Again, just knowing when to pick my spots.
Yeah, just that repetition will. I'm sure do a lot for it.
Does starting off in a tag team, would you recommend that as someone who now has been doing it for a while? Would you recommend to a newer person coming in to start off with a tag team to learn those parts, or would you say go singles first?
I would definitely say that do the tag team first. Reason being because you may be a singles wrestler, but you could get put into a makeshift tag team. You never know where you're going to get put into a tag team.
Yeah.
You may be at a promotion and it's like, oh, well, hey, you know what? You're doing a singles run. You've been doing a singles run for 2-3 years, and they're going, hey, we decided we're going to put you in a tag team. And if you've never done a tag team, done a tag match or worked in a tag team, there's going to be a lot of growing pains in that procedure. So it's definitely easier to go ahead and be in a tag team first and just get those little nuances out of the way.
Absolutely.
Because being a singles wrestler is easy. You know, it's literally like, I got my spots, you got your spots. I got my spots, you got your spots. Okay, we're going home.
And
that's literally it.
Speaking of
most part.
Speaking of spots, right before we started the show, for the first time, I showed Tony the most illegal thing in the history of wrestling. What was it kind of like to just be part of something that went so viral so quickly?
Yeah, 1.1 million views it's at right now.
Yeah, it was huge, man.
So, you know, firstly, I'm still tickled by the fact that still makes his rounds. That like makes his rounds about like
it still makes me laugh every
2 or
time I
3
see
times
it.
a year.
We will be sharing
And
it on
all
the
my
page.
friends, and people will tag me in it. They were like, "Look, it's here again." Like for instance, so when it blew, it was crazy. So when we did it, we obviously wanted to do something different. You know, we were in a tag tournament at CCW, so it was already special having a Chikara tag team in CCW at that time.
Yeah.
Because that was something that was taboo at the time.
Yeah, they're two.
You know, it was completely.
Yeah, way different sides of the coin. Mm-hmm.
Exactly, especially having such a colorful character, a colorful tag team such as us in the combat zone. You know what I mean? So, you know, so we're doing the tag tournament, and they were like, "Yeah, you know, we're looking to put you guys in the finals." So cool, great. So we're watching each tournament match, and you know, Ophidian and I were just watching, and we knew we were going to go into the semis with the runaways of Ryan Slater and Joe Gacy. And we were just like, I said to him, I was like, dude, we got to do something memorable here while we're here. Right, exactly. Now, the
and by the way,
like,
they can
you know,
dance.
how memorable, we had no idea that this was going to blow up the way it did. So we're just having fun. We're literally just having fun. And the more we're talking about it, the more, like, convoluted it got. And
because I mean, the whole locker room eventually got in on it.
That's exactly it. So we actually didn't come up with that idea until that day.
Awesome.
Right. Literally. So we're like, it's the day of the show. We're still throwing ideas out there. And so the way I figured it, like the way it, like I didn't even realize like it, you know, blew up the way it did. So I remember I was home on a Friday night and I was watching G4 TV. For those of you who do not know that,
G4?
what that is, it was
Attack
it
of
was
the
an
Show?
old school video game channel. Yeah, Attack of the
amazing.
Show. Yes.
Who was
So
the girl
it was
on that
actually
show? She
that
was really
show
hot.
that.
Olivia Munn.
Oh, that was Olivia Munn,
right,
yeah.
right.
And then Morgan Webb when they merged
So-
with Tech TV. Yep.
It was actually that show that they aired the clip
Really? Wow.
because they do their
Yeah.
top 5 viral videos of the web. That was how they ended the show. So they're going ahead and they're going through the videos, and Morgan Webb's like, yeah, you know, when we return, our number one video deals with pro wrestling and hypnosis.
Oh my
Psychosis.
Literally, I kid you not. And I seriously went, no bleeping way. No way. And I'm like, no, that's not, no. I'm like, no, absolutely not. No way. No freaking way. Sure enough, they come back. There's Ophidian, myself, Joe Gacy, Ryan Slater doing hypnosis, and Greg Axelrod dancing in his underwear.
Now, how did you get the whole locker room in on it?
We just grabbed guys. It was like, hey, you guys want to do this spot? They were like, yo, we'll do it. We'll do it.
That's awesome.
They were like, yeah, we'll do it, which was fun, and it was cool because like they wanted. It was like it was cool because like none of them were like too cool for school. Like,
Yeah.
no, we don't want to do any of that crap. Like
Yeah.
they were like, oh yeah, like it's great, and you know they were, and it was really great because like they were helping us put something special together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and I was. You know what I mean? It was just like we wanted everybody involved.
And it turned into other like people, like I was telling him, now they have like where people get rockabye to sleep, and then
all kinds of
and then
stuff.
later on in WWE they did hypnosis with the snake with
with
the
Santino,
cobra.
yeah.
Yeah, so like I mean, if
You're
you
welcome.
over
You're
a
welcome.
million views, they've had to have seen that
Oh,
clip.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They were
Oh yeah, somebody.
100%.
Copycat industries. Yeah, everyone's
Yeah.
going to try to get their piece of that.
Absolutely right. So you know, and it's just and so for and like you know, we were sitting here looking at it, even like to the point where it's like, what we were like on the main page of AOL.com.
Yeah.
I saw
Like
it through.
we were all over the place.
Yeah, I saw it through Bill Simmons, the sports guy that worked
Wow.
for ESPN at the time. He was having
Yeah,
everywhere.
like,
Yeah.
it was on. It was even on ESPN around the horn. They were
Yeah.
like talking about it,
Yeah.
and we were just like, "What is going on?" You
If
know?
if that would have happened today, in today's time, it would
signed immediately.
It would have it would have triple the views, and you would
Yeah.
probably be in AEW right now.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I was 100%.
Yeah.
Exactly 100%. So it's kind of cool for us to literally stop and be like so ahead of our time.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
You know, with something like that it helped. Comedy wrestling, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were talking last week
You
on our
know-
show with Trajan. He did a show with, and Andy was there as well. But when Ace Austin jumped off the backboard, that clip went viral. He's Impact
Yeah.
champion. Like
Yeah,
he's
X-Division.
he's X Division champ right now. Like it's just insane
Yeah.
that I always tell people, I said, always support your local wrestlers and go see them because you never know
That's
what's
it.
going to happen at one of those events.
Yeah.
Who's going to videotape what spot?
Yeah.
Because it's so much not just for the fans, but it's for you guys in the ring as well. Like one person can catch you doing a high spot in a ring. And
that's
that hits
all
the
it takes is
internet.
someone sees it.
and it's it can blow up,
Yeah.
and it can change.
And
your,
that's literally it.
And then as
And
a
that's
fan, you
how,
turn around and
like,
say, "I seen him before this." You know, it's such
Exactly.
it's
And
the
that's
best time
what,
to be a
like,
wrestling
the
fan.
internet's such a game changer with that, you know?
Yeah,
Like having that, like, you know, again, camera phones and everything is such a game changer for professional wrestling. So that way, you know, again, millions of people can see.
now Chikara has its
You
own
know,
video
you
game.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's good. Yeah, exactly. You know, so like there's a lot of things that come, you know, it's, like again, it's a snowball effect. That's what I was looking for. It's a giant snowball effect.
Definitely.
And that snowball is still going. It's still going.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I had to change gears to a little dour note, but then sadly had the outside the ring injury in 2011, somewhere around there. He had to hang it up for
Yeah.
a while. How was that adjustment to kind of coming back into it and getting back into the swing of things?
So it was a very, very, I mean, I guess dark time. you know,
Yeah.
because like it was like we had the video, we were getting the bookings, we were getting the money, and everything was great. Like, you know, we were in the twilight zone, and then, you know, that ends up happening, you know, outside of the ring injury, you know, you get into a car accident, you know, and you're in massive amounts of pain. You know, your doctor tells you, hey, I don't think you should be doing professional wrestling anymore because, you know, you got to preserve your back, excuse me. So, like, it's one of those things. It's like, you know, it's a shot in the heart that you don't expect, and it was just really like my world literally shattered because that's all I knew. Professional wrestling was all I knew. You know, like I wasn't going to college, I wasn't doing, you know, anything else besides professional wrestling. That's all I ever wanted to be, and all wanted to do. Excuse me. And then so for it to be taken away so abruptly, it was painstaking, and to the point where I got so embittered, like I didn't even want to watch professional wrestling at all.
Yeah.
Because literally, like, I couldn't even watch Raw anymore. I couldn't watch something that I loved, you know, something that was literally me, that molded my childhood. I couldn't watch it anymore without getting sick, without getting upset. And I just remember having a Facebook, and it was just filled with my peers who were, you know, professional wrestlers. And I'm seeing, you know, guys like, you know, I'm seeing like Adam Cole's doing another Japan tour and this, that, and the third. And I just literally said, you know, screw this. And I just went dark. I deleted all my social media and it's just like, I don't want to see anything wrestling. And I got so bitter that I just didn't want to come back.
You probably felt like you were just at your peak. You're climbing, and then out of your control, something crazy happens and kind of takes you away from it. It's got to be hard. It's heart wrenching.
It is, and you know, and it goes, it's a complete emotional roller coaster. You know, it's like that 7 stages of grief. You know, but from a wrestler standpoint, you got shock. You know, because of you hearing that, then you get sad. You know, and then you kind of just like you kind of accept it, and then you get angry. And for me, it was like I got super angry and super bitter.
Right.
It was just, you know, it was just terrible for me. And so, like, one day I went to a buddy of mine invited me to come to training. He was like, dude, like, he's like, you're not yourself anymore. He's like, you're always depressed. Like, come to training. And I'm just like, all right, I'll come and I'll hang out. I'm not going to do anything though.
Yeah.
But I saw that ring, and it's like that hot girl at the dance, and you're like, I want to go talk to her. You know, and I got in that ring, and it was literally like,
He literally wanted to slide
you.
in.
Literally, exactly. And it was just like, I missed you. Where have you been? I needed you. Like, literally, at that time of my life, I needed professional wrestling. And I just got back into it, and I'm running. It just started with me running the ropes. I was running the ropes, and then next thing you know, I'm taking bumps. Next thing you know, I'm taking more bumps. Next thing you know, I'm running spots with the guys in training, and it was like a switch, and it was just like, I'm back. You know, I can do this. I want this again. You know, so I started training 4 or 5 days a week. Getting myself healthy again, getting myself back in the gym, and I made my return. I think I was out for 2 years. I think I was out for.
Wow.
If I remember, like, 1.5 years, and almost 2, and then I finally made my return back.
Yeah, when you're an athlete,
Awesome,
man, and you step away for something that long, and it's hard. It's hard to adjust, especially that's all you know.
It is.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Like, I remember I saw a buddy of mine, and you know, during his shoot job, he worked at the Apple store in the Cherry Hill Mall, and he saw me, and he's like, "How are you adjusting to civilian life?" That's what he called it. And I started laughing. I was like, and this was at the time I was like, I came to accept it. I wasn't bitter yet. I was like, you know what? It's kind of nice to not have to travel, you know, 13 hours in a car to a show, like, you know. But knowing that there was a little nagging piece of me that missed it.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can never
You know,
really
that
leave
this
it.
being
Yeah.
exactly. You never do.
Now,
You never do.
One of the things that I talked to you a little bit on the PPW show. Because I feel like I'm bothering people, so I don't really bug people too much. But one of the things that I really, really attribute a lot to you, and I really respect the one thing is you're just coming back from another injury just recently.
Yeah.
We can get into a little bit, but you were at a PPW show, not billed, not booked, but still sitting there watching the guys work and showing that support. That's the small stuff to me as a fan that like kind of knows a little bit behind the curtain, but not every. I don't want to know a lot behind the curtain. Like even with Andy here, when Andy comes and he has a show coming up,
right?
I don't even ask him like what, because most of the time he doesn't know until he shows up either. But a lot
right.
I don't even pry. Like when he was champ at Outbreak, I was like I don't want to know if you're winning or not. Like because as a fan, I'm still a fan, but even though I had that access, I still like that behind the scenes stuff. But seeing you in the bleachers, just as a civilian watching the guys work, it was as a fan that was awesome, and I gained a lot of respect for you that day.
Oh, thank you, man. But I'll tell you, it hurt. It hurt watching.
Yeah.
It hurt a lot watching, and I was with my wife actually, and she saw it.
Yeah.
Like I would watch it, and I would just get that deflated, like.
You could definitely tell. Now that I'm thinking about it, and like, you definitely had that look on you. Like you were like, man, like you wanted to be there. I
wanted to be there so bad. Yeah.
We actually had a chant go pretty popular when you were at a PPW show when you were tag teaming, and then your team split up, and then we had the hug it out chant, and then you guys like kind of improvised and hugged in the ring, and then you crossed on them.
Yes.
That was us that started the hug it out.
Was that Casey Navarro?
That was you guys. Okay.
Yeah, that was us chatting the hug it out.
Okay. All right. But yeah, but at the time it was just kind of like, I wanted, like you said, I just wanted to show up. Like even the Office, they were like, wait, I didn't know you were going to be here. I was like, I kind of just looked at him and said, I didn't know I was going to be here either.
Yeah.
So. And even then too, and it was just like, even then, just being back there, like having my peers still like, even though again, I'm not billed, I'm not on the card, they still wanted me to watch their match.
Yeah. A
Hey,
lot of people were coming
man?
up to you after the match. Like I would see they would leave the ring and go up and sit with you in the bleachers and kind of. It looked like, I don't know what your conversation, but it looked like they were picking your brain a little bit. Like they had that respect for you to like, hey, what would you have done differently and stuff. Like that's what it kind of seemed like.
Right, exactly, and that's exactly it. And that's exactly what it was. And I was telling them like, yo, I like this, but hey, next time why don't you give it a try? Why don't you do this instead of that?
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of just get that like. Eureka look like, oh wow, yeah, no, thank you, and then actually seeing them put that to use makes me feel good because it's just like, I'm not just that old head in the business giving unsolicited advice.
Slow it down,
like back in my day, kid, no, like
grab a hold.
They're actually listening.
We use hypnosis and that.
Learn to grab a hold, kid, like type stuff.
But
so it actually made me feel really good.
PPW seemed like a really good locker room.
100%. It's one of the best locker rooms I've ever been a part of because legitimately the one word every time I come to PPW, every time I go to those shows, every time I walk in that locker room and I see everybody that smile, there's not one sourpuss in the locker room,
mm-hmm.
and that's what I love.
Unless you're Dan Maff.
Well, but that's just him. That's just him in general. But right. But but he'll crack a smile here and there.
Yeah, he does. Hey,
Yeah.
I've been there with him. He's a cool dude. You wouldn't think so. This guy's gonna beat the shit out of everybody. With
right? No, exactly. But like the one word that comes to mind every single time I'm in that locker room is family.
Yeah.
Like these are my family. Like I see them once a month. We go out there. We go to war with each other to put on the best show. We try not to hurt each other, but what if we do? Guess what? It's all it's all for the show.
Yeah.
It's all for the fans. And we're family. Like there's no egos back there. There's no like, oh well, why is this guy at the top and I'm still at the bottom? Like there's none of that. Like anytime someone gets handed the proverbial torch to run with it, everyone is happy for that person.
Yeah.
No.
You know, there's none of that. There's none of that drama. Which is why, like, you know, I feel like a lot of other locker rooms that I've been in and stories that I've heard can learn a lot from that atmosphere.
Yeah, I can definitely attribute to the family aspect. I mean, we just went as fans, and just kind of put a thing out like, hey, we're a podcast and we're gonna go see this show and just kind of review it. And Paul Bowe sent us a message, gave us tickets to give away in the show. And then we kind of showed up, and he's like, hey, like, I understand you're a podcast. Like, you can't come and do any recordings. I said, no, we're just coming as fans. But he was very accepting. And then after maybe 2 or 3 shows and us getting loud and kind of getting some funny chants
The
going.
word you're looking for is rowdy.
Yeah, rowdy, and but fun rowdy. Like, we're not idiot fans. We're not like they're like
Right.
To train wreck the show.
Yeah, we're
like
not taking over the show and ruining it. We're
Technically, we did take over that one
Toxic
show.
fandom.
We did take over that one show. We got a little rowdy there.
yeah, but I mean, it was part of the show. We weren't
Correct.
The only time we ever kind of went against the system is when we were cheering for Sean Carr over Mike Orlando.
That's okay.
Sure. That's right.
Sean Carr's a great heel. I love that guy. He's amazing. But then we started meeting the Wicked Turtle guys, and they started, and like, it was very easy for them to be like seeing us as a threat, as another podcast, because we do something very similar. But they were and they seen how we're very open arms and want to collaborate and work with each other, and they brought us in, and we were at the last show together, and they brought us in. We kind of recorded some stuff. Like, I can definitely see how that is a family environment at that PPW show, even from the guys who run the show, the backstage guys, the people doing commentating, the Wicked Turtle guys. It's just a really good tight knit group. Like, they're very welcoming. It's a good stable there.
That's it, and that's exactly, and that's like, you know, I will, you know, even like whatever, like, you know, if I could steal something from Eddie Kingston, like, if something ever crazy happens for me, you know, I will always put that promotion at the top of my list.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah.
Always.
So,
no matter where I go.
What are some accomplishments that you have achieved so far in your career?
Let's see. Well, I mean, done a lot of overseas stuff. Japan was really fun for me, which was fun. You know, going to England, doing Germany. Haven't touched in Mexico. I was going to do Mexico, but that fell through. But, you know, Mexico's always going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Just having, and mostly I feel like a lot of my accomplishments come from, like, getting the opportunity to work with some of the people that I've worked with.
You want to name drop a little bit?
Always,
Especially in Jakarta.
What's that?
I said I guess I know some of the names, but I was like, do you want to drop some names for people that you
I mean,
guys
sure.
work with?
Like, you know, like, I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, I've gotten the opportunity. You know, we work with Scorpio. Worked with him a couple times. And even with that, he and I have like a big mutual respect.
He actually liked
on
one
that.
of my Instagram posts when I was wearing the SCU shirt, and I was like, "Holy shit! I just got liked by Scorpio." And he just went over like a madman in this tag team tournament. Like,
Yeah. He's getting over it.
Yeah, he's awesome. I'm super happy for him. Now I heard you drop my favorite wrestler. Now I was, like I said, I'm a Shawn Michaels fan, and a lot of people always say that who's the next Shawn? Who's the next Shawn? And obviously guys like Ziggler get that name and stuff like that. But honestly, the guy for me who, if I'm going to compare anyone to the next Shawn Michaels just for his charisma, the way he sells, the way he acts in the ring, it's Adam Cole, baby.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. You know, and he's another one I've had the opportunity to get to work with.
Most recently, at
Yeah, he's
PPW, your triple
definitely
threat
going
match
to-
with Rich Swann.
that was a great match.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely this generation's Michaels. Definitely is.
Mm-hmm.
And you wrestled Orange Cassidy before, I know that. Maybe it might be under a different name at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different name,
Right.
Yeah, maybe.
different species, maybe.
Yeah,
Right. I've gotten in the ring with Orange Cassidy a couple times.
And Drew Gulak, maybe he was there too.
Different name, different species, maybe.
Right. I've got Grulak. I mean, you know, Cesaro, Claudio. I've got to work with him.
Yeah, Brian was telling me some of the names that were in Chikara.
That's
Yeah.
maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
You never know.
And it makes you go, huh? Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Luke Harper,
You know?
a lot of people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harper's Brody Lee. He was probably one of the bigger names at the time.
Best
That's
friends.
crazy.
You know?
Little fun fact about Harper / Brody Lee. I still have scars from when he chopped me across my chest.
Oh wow.
And we're like 2019, almost in 2020.
Yeah.
This is back in like 09,
Wow.
and they're still there.
Wow.
I
They're
hope
still there.
I hope they let that guy go soon because he's too
He's so
much.
good.
He's so much in his prime to be held back and doing nothing.
Yeah.
From what they said, he had a thunder.
That
It's
is
really
thunder,
bad.
yeah.
It's thunder. It's like we could hear it over our headphones. But they said he had a really big pop in the at Crown Jewel today. The crowd
Really?
was chanting for him,
Yeah.
He did, yeah. They were cheering for him to win. Yes, they were.
which is awesome.
Yes, they were, which is great.
It's
yeah,
just
which is
annoying
really
to me
great.
that WWE hears this and they're just like, nah,
We don't like him.
send him back home.
We're just gonna pay him to sit at home.
Yeah.
Oh, it's annoying.
Yeah.
It's kind of like one of those things, like when you watch WWE, and it's like, yeah, they hear it, but it's not their idea.
Yeah,
Right.
It sucks. It sucks
You know what
so
I mean?
bad.
Like, it's,
We listen to our audience when they're telling us what we want to hear.
Yeah.
Is basically the way it is.
Yep.
right. You know, and it's like, so, you know, it sucks, but like we all get it. Like we all get it. You know, you guys are the big machine, the big money machine. So you guys do what you want.
Yeah. So what are some
Yeah,
goals
yeah.
that you have for yourself set now that you're back from injury, you're back at this again, you're going to be, you know, I'm sure you're working other places, but you're also working PPW. What are some of your goals you have your set right now, or your stuff in mind?
Mostly, I definitely want to get back to the UK. The UK scene has been blowing up consistently for years. There's a lot of talent over there that I want to get in the ring with. Definitely would like to do Japan again. You know, and honestly, like, you know, I'd like to, you know, vie for, you know, AEW or Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
Those would be like those are like the main two places that like I would like to show my stuff in.
Yeah.
Did you get to work the last
Yeah.
Impact show at PPW?
I did.
And
Yeah, I did.
That was the Rich Swan. triple
was that
threat.
the triple threat match?
Yeah. I believe so, right?
No, that wasn't the Impact show.
That was just the
That
Rich
was a
Swan being there.
PPW show. Yeah, Swan was there. I wrestled Kevin Matthews.
Okay,
right,
and you were the only one to
on
actually
that show.
beat a
Yeah.
Impact star that
That's-
night.
That is right. You were the only
Well,
one. to-
you know, I wasn't going to say that, but you guys said it. Yes,
Yeah.
I was the only one that went over an Impact Wrestling.
yeah.
Now,
you know.
while we're on that subject, you had your big match with Rich Swan. You wrestled for Impact. You beat KM. You're easily moving up the Impact, the PPW card up into the upper card. It looked like you were maybe in line for a title shot. How do you feel about the new champion of PPW right now in Clutch Adams?
You know what? I mean, Clutch is awesome. He is. He's pound for pound one of the best wrestlers in PPW. I would love to see him other places.
Yeah.
Would love to see him get a shot other places. He's got it all. The look, the charisma. Like even when he's on his Instagram, I literally will sit and watch all of his promos. every last one of them. Reason being because he draws my attention.
Yeah. I could
Like
definitely see that.
for you to be able to do that to another worker. Excuse me, another wrestler. I hate that word. From another wrestler, I hate that word. And for you to be able to grab the attention of another wrestler and make me feel like a fan watching you do this and talk about your next match, that's something special.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's an art that a lot of people don't do anymore. They don't really cut promos. Especially with social
No.
media being so good now.
Yeah,
like,
sometimes you're not really
Right.
When you're at the show, they don't let you cut a promo there. So sometimes, like,
what's
I mean,
name
you could
does,
grab
like, just
the mic, but that's
jump-
kind of frowned upon.
just jump on
You know?
your Facebook account.
oh yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
Whenever you want. Yeah, definitely.
That I mean
Well,
that-
yeah, exactly. You know, just, you know, you got the camera phone, you can, you know, do your promo wherever. But
Yeah.
like, you know, but even with just like, even, you know, with that, like, you know, he's sitting in his living room getting ready to, you know, he's talking about his match and with Teddy, and like literally it was just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like it made me want to, again, like it made me feel like I was a fan, like not knowing this match is happening, but I was about to buy a ticket.
Yeah. So without saying yourself, let's say you're behind the scenes, you're a guy who can dictate someone's future. You got 6 contracts. They can go to either AEW. It doesn't matter the company. But you have 6 guys that you've been like you obviously you've been in the scene for a while. You know some people who are sick, and tag teams count as one. Who are some people in the industry right now that you would say that you think they're on your way? They have the potential to do the next big thing and showcase themselves how to show like an impact.
So,
or
6 people that you think should get signed.
like people you think should be signed. Here we go.
Okay. First is the tag team main event.
Absolutely,
I'm with you 1,000% on that.
100%. They have it all.
PPW's
And
tag
when
team
you
division is unbelievable.
It is.
It's
It
a little blue and
definitely
gold.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right.
We're trying to get blue and gold in there. We're petitioning.
Because again, main event has it all. They can move, they can wrestle, and most importantly, they get the interest of the children.
Yeah, and they have that factor that someone can grab a cell phone and capture one of their spots. They can be the next
It's easy to
viral
explain.
video.
It's a line in the ring mask.
Yeah.
100%.
I understand.
100%. They literally have it all. They literally have everything.
Super
And
nice
And
guys.
they just won the
Whereas-
tag titles too.
Yeah, and their shirts
Exactly.
are amazing.
Like whereas again, children make up a great portion of our fan base.
Yep.
So why not them?
And when you go
that
to a
was my
show,
one pick.
when you go to a show, you're going to remember them. Like no matter what age you are, you go to a show,
100%.
you're going to leave remembering the main event.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. That's 100%. Like the idea, and the thing about that is too, like they don't have to go out there and do all the crazy, quirky, high spots and moves because they have a great character.
Yeah.
Yep.
They can entertain you.
Yeah.
Which is great.
There's
Which
not
I
many
always-
guys. Sorry, to cut you. There's not many guys in the
No,
scene
no, no.
right now who like. Oh, his fin. Like, I don't want to sound mean when I say it, but it's hard without like a commentary team in your ear to remember a move or a spot, unless you go there every single week. But you can see main event once or twice and be like, "Oh my God, wait till they do the dive through the hoop.
Yeah.
Wait till they do the
Exactly.
the tightrope where he holds his legs on the second rope and he jumps over his back.
Yeah.
Like they have those
Yes,
spots where you're
that's
like,
it, exactly.
yeah. Like it's
And that's exactly it.
and they're consistent.
And I feel
And
like
it's
a lot
not
of us
too
get away
often
from
you
that.
see a guy the size of Jay Lyon being as athletic as that, doing some of the stuff that he does is incredible.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they would definitely be a pick of mine. Again, we were just talking about him, Clutch Adams. I could see him being a great heel anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Like he just has that. He has that look.
I think Clutch would be good in NWA.
Yeah, he's kind of has like a natural heel
Old school
persona
feel
too. Yeah,
he's like an old school
Yeah.
look too.
Right. Exactly. And then you know what? I got to go my ace, my main man. I got to get Johnny Moran.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
yeah.
the dark
Every
horse.
time I see him, he's improving greatly.
I would agree with that.
Greatly. He improves every single time. And like even with him, he'll throw me a couple matches here and there. He say, "Hey man, you might watch myself." I'm like, "Come on, man. I don't mind watching your stuff. Stop asking and just send it to my inbox. And I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to dissect it." Let's see who else. Christina.
Christina Marie.
Yeah.
I can see her doing. big
I told
things.
her behind the curtains a little bit to kind of pull back a little bit. I said she's so good right now at being a heel that she almost comes off like she's unapproachable. Like when she's walking around the arena.
She kind
But
of
she's
gets that off too.
But
yeah.
she's the furthest thing from it as a
Oh,
human
yeah,
being. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
she puts that scowl on,
Yeah,
and you're
just
like,
like,
I'm not talking to her.
This bitch is
Exactly.
pissed.
That's it. 100%.
It looks like you come within 5
that's the
feet of her,
person
she's
that
going
knows
to
that
slap the
character.
taste out of your mouth.
Yeah, 100%. It looked like
Exactly.
if you try to talk to her, she will punch you in the face. Like,
And that's a great,
Um,
and I think that's the mark of a great character, just that without opening their mouth, without even like moving,
Yeah.
you can tell what they are. That is the mark of a great character.
yeah.
That's it. That's literally it. And that's what, again, I feel like nowadays that's a missing ingredient. That's one of the many missing ingredients we have.
Oh, yeah,
Happening. What was that? I got 2 more now, I guess. I think
Sure.
there's 2 more.
Yep.
Evander.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
man,
James,
yeah.
definitely him.
He went to Japan.
Yeah,
I think he's still
yeah.
there.
I was
He might
watching a
just
lot of
came
his
back.
stuff in Japan. The one match he showed was he watched Liger, who were like it was like the who's who of Japanese wrestlers, like old school ones, all in one ring, and it looked like it was an arena size of Hazleton.
Oh,
Was it just a legend?
Yeah,
match?
that was it was in Kurkin.
yeah,
Hall.
Corkin Hall, which is kind of like their ECW arena.
Yeah,
basically.
it's awesome. Like,
Yeah,
and-
I'd love to.
Yeah, exactly, which is Japan's ECW arena.
Yeah,
That's
so
where
much history in that
Tony
building.
Deppen just worked.
Yeah. Oh, Deppin's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Fun place to work. Really fun place to wrestle.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
See, I'm a little background. Like these guys that are on the table are just like wrestling gurus, and I'm the guy. I'm the guy who has been a WWE mark my entire life, and now I'm slowly opening the door to other. Like during the Monday Night Wars, I refused to watch WCW because I was loyal to WWE. Like I didn't watch ECW, I didn't watch any of that, and now I'm slowly like going back and learning the indie scene. So this is like the new experience for me. Like now that all these companies are opening their doors, I'm learning people for the first time now. So that's a cool thing.
The best part was when he was talking about Cesaro, and we're like, "You mean Claudio?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Huh?"
Yeah, exactly. For me, that's Cesaro. Like I don't know him as
No,
anything else.
no.
Right, exactly. He's like, wait, who's that?
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to go back in the day for WCW, a name that was brought up earlier is a name you're going to want to check out, and that's Too Cold Scorpio
Yeah.
in WCW. Amazing.
oh yeah,
Yeah, again, another person that was ahead of his time.
yeah, definitely.
Oh, by far.
But yeah, I think you got one or two more.
One
here.
more.
One more.
I got one more.
Paul Bow.
World Heavyweight Champion versus Brock Lesnar.
Oh God.
There you go, right, Paul Ball. Right, there you go. And you know what? I'll even, because I got done working with him this past weekend, and he always is amazing. I'm gonna give it to Facade.
There you go.
Yeah.
I just wrestled him.
I'm gonna give it to
prior.
Facade.
Yeah. What do you think of you both were in the ring with him? What do you think?
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's a nice guy too. I thought we matched real well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you do any lucha spots with him? I did a bunch, and it was really smooth. I even said to him, "I think, man, that was great." He's
You
like,
did.
"Yeah, it was."
You did cut him off before he hit the 450 to
Well,
the floor, though.
Yeah. You gotta do
He's
something.
smart, yeah.
yeah.
I wouldn't
I'm
take
sorry, but every time I see him do that move, I'm amazed every time he does it, because it's not too often you see a dude jump 12 feet in the air, hit a springboard, and then do a 450 to the floor.
to his feet.
Yes, to his feet.
So, little fun fact: with the first time I saw him do that, I almost forgot to catch him.
Oh,
I was in awe.
You're just like,
Because I was in awe.
what's going on? Oh shit, I gotta do this.
Like literally, it's just like, whoa. Oh snap! He's coming down. Yeah.
Now,
Like I had to snap out of it.
as
You got to
someone-
catch him. You're Desean, not Aguilar. You got to
Yeah.
catch him.
as
Right.
as someone who has to catch that spot, as a fan who's never experienced that sucks, right? Like there's nothing like
Sometimes,
that
I
hurts.
mean, it's you really can't control it too much. I mean,
you're
a little bit.
literally
Just-
taking the impact so they don't crush the floor.
I always did that. Turn your head to the
Right.
side and catch them. So yeah.
Like when Charlotte Flair does the moonsault from the inside to the
Yeah.
outside, like none of that looks fun for anybody.
yeah, not even hurry.
No.
The suicide dive is
But
probably the
it's just-
safest.
You got to throw your body in there. You got to throw yourself in there.
Yeah.
You got to protect them from hitting the floor.
Yeah, I don't like when everyone does a suicide
Yeah.
dive where they land on their feet.
Okay,
I
yeah.
always liked when they kind of like
Torpedoed.
when they
Yeah.
torpedo and kind of land on their side, or like because it looked more like they would put their body at risk. When Seth Rollins does it and
Right.
he lands on his feet, it looks like it has no impact to it. It literally looks like he just
Yeah.
pushes them.
Pushes them right, exactly. Whereas it just barrel right through them.
Yeah,
Now I always get nervous when I see Daniel Bryan like, please be okay,
Yeah.
please be okay.
yeah.
Austin Aries would always throw himself at
Right,
it. It
right.
was
Like,
like,
literally
whoa.
throwing caution to the wind.
Austin Aries is unbelievable.
Austin Aries goes through the bottom rope, too, which is even weirder.
He would like throw him. I said, man, slow down. You're gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah, you know how you're saying about Daniel Bryant, and you're always watching him like,
Yeah.
please don't get hurt. That's gonna be Ciampa now for me forever.
Yeah.
Like, please don't be hurt. Please don't be hurt. You're so like we can't lose you again. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to
Well,
keep
before he
you.
goes, any shows, upcoming shows
Yeah,
you want
any
to plug? Or
that's what I was gonna
will
say.
you
Do
be
you have
wrestling?
anything you
Yeah.
want to put out there before we let you go?
I have one as of right now that I know about is so November 16th. It's up here in the Delaware County area in Collingdale, PA.
Oh, what?
It's up like right outside of Philly.
It's my hometown, no joke.
Collingdale, really?
yeah, I grew up there. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I am wrestling in your hometown. I'm wrestling for a company called Keystone Championship Wrestling.
Okay.
Okay.
So that is November the 16th. I'll be there.
Excellent.
Awesome.
You can find Desean on Twitter. He's at Prince of CMD.
And also on
Just throughout the social
Instagram.
media.
Yep.
And then we will tag his Facebook page. You can go give some likes. Do you have any merch or anything out like right now?
Right now, I mean, I'm slinging my my Pratt Man T-shirts.
Okay.
So if you guys want one of those, support your boy. Hit me up. I get
Absolutely.
those out to you, or they'll be coming to a merch table near you.
Awesome.
So keep an eye out for those.
Bring an extra large to the next PPW show. I'll grab one off.
Say
you.
no more. Say no more. I got you, brother.
Awesome.
I got you.
Well, thank you so much for calling in, and I hope we did a good job doing some homework on you, Brian.
You guys did,
My mind
yeah.
is blown. I didn't even know they did wrestling.
He
in
still
Collingwood.
didn't answer the biggest question of all.
What's that?
Is hypnosis the most illegal move in professional wrestling?
You'll never know.
You'll never know. You never know. But amazing.
No one knows. No one.
I don't know what was more impressive, the hypnosis or the breakdancing. That was
Joe
awesome.
Gacy's head slide. Joe Gacy's
head slide, yeah.
the head
When
slide.
he did the head slide, that looked like it hurt.
Greg Excellence
It
stripping
probably
was a
got
bit
rug
much.
burn.
He definitely has rug burn on his forehead from that one after that happened. But thank you absolutely so much for calling in. This is amazing. Let other
you
people
for having
know
me.
if they want to call in. Our doors are always open for people. We're always looking for someone on a Wednesday night or Thursday night.
Yeah, and if you see Desean Pratt on the
Sounds
show,
good.
check him out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
He's really good.
So-
One day we'll wrestle because I don't think we've ever done it.
yeah. Let's.
We never have.
No, so
I-
Never
I
have.
would-
We got to get one in.
I
Hell
say
yeah.
let's work it out for PPW, but they're probably already angry at me because I'm plugging blue and gold every 30 seconds. at them.
I'll be jobbing to the students next month.
Yeah, what's Jose's new name now?
Antonio Rivera.
Yeah, I'll be putting him over.
You'll be putting Antonio.
I'll be putting over to Paul Bow.
Oh, what's the name? We have next year. We have not Clutch Adams.
Fox.
No.
Fox Vineyard.
Next week is
Oh, the guy that writes the Segway. I forget his name.
I'm
Drew Adams.
Drew Adams.
Yeah.
Drew Adams is calling in.
Speaking of somebody where you get the impression, like 5 seconds after they hit the curtain, Drew Adams is that guy too.
Yeah. And he does. He's not the biggest dude. He looks like he's 11 years old, but he does exactly what he's supposed to do as a character in the ring.
Absolutely.
I'm also taking 2-1 odds next week that Andy gets DDT'd again.
If I'm there.
Yeah, if he's because it's mostly Impact people. I don't think there's many PPW stars on the show.
But anyway, D, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank
We
you so
appreciate
much.
it.
Well, can't wait to see you again.
Thank you, guys.
Have a
Take
great night.
care.
See you later.
You too.
Awesome
Yeah,
interview.
he's a cool guy.
That was
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Very awesome.
Like I said, if you guys are tuning in and you definitely go give him a follow. That was cool stuff, man. I like this new segment we do with this with people calling in and man, he's been around.
Yeah. He started like when I started.
Yeah,
Around the same time.
Yeah.
And it's such a shame because, like, exactly what he was saying, Osirian Portal was blowing up.
Yeah, and they added a
then-
third member.
Yeah.
He
Jonathan
was
Gresham.
Amasis?
Yes,
He was a Amasis, yeah.
What was Jonathan Gresham's name with the bird mask? I was going to ask him. I totally forgot.
I remember him in Ophidian, but I don't remember what Gresham's
at the
called.
end they added him, and
Yeah.
then
And then one car accident, man.
Yeah,
just kinda
yeah, that's
put it all
yeah.
to halt.
Well,
It's just insane now.
at least
Like
think it was able to come back though. You know?
our time.
I don't see how you beat a video like that, though. I mean, it blew up so
Yeah.
fast.
They had a second one then too, but it didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you hit lightning in a bottle. It's
Yeah.
hard to like.
You
reinvent
can't
the
strike
wheel with
twice on that.
Yeah, but excellent career for like a guy like
Our
really-
age.
Yeah, our
Our
age.
age.
And, like
Yeah, definitely.
having that second
But
act
it would-
now.
like,
and
if that happened today, it'd be like Cody and the Bucks. would
Yeah,
sign him.
it's like-
Or
yeah.
Impact. Yeah, they definitely would have signed him.
for people his generation, your generation, it's kind of like, yeah, it sucks that you weren't
Yeah.
like 10 years younger because
Well, think about it, too.
Nowadays-
We're almost 1 year to the day where somebody actually stole Ophidian's gear. All of it at
yeah,
at the
remember-
airport.
yeah, remember that?
They
Yeah.
actually had to do a GoFundMe and some other donations to help him get his ring gear.
yeah, they had when somebody in, was it an NXT people or Tucker from Heavy Machinery, his gear
Wow.
got stolen out of his car in LA.
Didn't someone just lose a belt because of the bubbly?
No. See, that got returned. This gear literally was stolen and never found.
Yeah, that
yeah,
sucks.
I mean, that's
And,
that.
and the thing is,
It's
man,
like, what are you gonna do with it?
exactly.
It's
It's like A, what
it's
are you going to do
custom
with it?
gear.
And B,
you can't
these-
show it in public because somebody like, oh my god, you're the asshole who stole his gear.
Yeah, and these
You can't wear it if
and
you're a
these
wrestler.
these guys are like working their ass off. They're probably working like a part-time job while they're trying to wrestle.
Yeah.
They're scraping by doing indie shows, getting a couple bucks, a hot dog, and a handshake, and you're stealing their gear.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even get the hot dog or the handshake.
Yeah.
Just hey,
Yeah.
thanks for showing up.
And you're getting your gear stolen. It's
Yeah,
horrible.
that sucks, man. Especially
Yeah.
if it's new too. Oh my god.
Yeah, like you're like way back when on a podcast we did. This is like back in 2005. We were talking to this guy who wrote for Slam Wrestling, and he was on a show like just covering it. where Bobby Eaton was on the show, and this is a star. This is Bobby Eaton. His pay that night was $50 and 2 cheeseburgers.
Oh man,
Wow.
that sucks.
Yeah, so if anyone's watching or you're looking at this and you're like, man, that was a cool interview. If you are yourself in the business or wrestler, manager, booker, behind the scenes guy, referee, send us a message.
I'm just looking over that computer. Is that CR O'Malley over there?
Yeah,
Speaking of managers,
He'll call in.
yeah.
Yeah, that's he was trying backbreakers too. So.
Really? Yeah.
Let's not get carried away. I really don't want any referees yet, because God forbid, he's going to try and give us the Rick Knox and give us a 5 count that we have to stop doing what we're doing.
Yeah, so anytime there's a show, I'll post there's usually the wrestlers workers page. I'll post like anyone want to come up, put themselves over. Sometimes I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, the door's always open, man. So far we have 2 guests booked. Like I said, we have Drew Adams, and then we have Vox the week after. Vox Vineyard. So I'm really pumped for that one.
And Fox is coming off a high from being the No Limits champion and working with Impact all in the last 6 months.
Now, did he just lose the No Limits champion?
Yes, he did.
To
I forget his name.
Isaac Rule.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I forget his
Who just happens to be
wrestling
Brooke's
name.
boyfriend.
Who's Brooke? We don't know who that is.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so let's get into some what happened during the week here. So we'll start here right away, and we'll get into Raw. We're not going to go too in detail because obviously there's 1,000 podcasts that cover it. We'll kind of just go through a little bit.
Some do it 5 minutes after the show's
anybody-
over.
I didn't watch a second of it. I can't. I'm just so.
I was
done.
on the treadmill from 8 to 9. I watched from 9 to 10. 9 to 10. I saw it 9
WWE
to
right
10.
now is just like I just do
Yeah,
not
I'll just
care.
go through some high spots that I thought were decent. It started off with the Ric Flair Hogan thing. Didn't care. The Becky Lynch, Kairi Sane's kind of firing
cool. Yeah.
page.
Yeah,
I
I
love.
seen
Listen,
that.
she can spit mist every week. I'm for it. I love it.
Wasn't that Oscar that spit the mist?
Yeah, I am a Green Mist fan.
I say just leave them to an NXT.
Yeah, I like when they travel. I like the traveling.
Yeah, I like what they're doing with the titles now, where you can be on another show, but when you lose it, you go back.
Yeah, but do you want to watch them wrestle the Iconics, or do you want to watch them wrestle
Lynch, and then we had Lynch versus Sane. She won by submission.
That was probably the high point of the entire night.
It was a good match. It was a good match.
Like Kyrie to me is such a baby face, but she's so good that she can be a heel
Yeah.
too. But
Yeah.
she's such a baby face.
A match that could have been amazing, but kind of turned into like a match. Buddy Murphy and R-Truth. That could have been really good.
R-Truth's really good, but they just want to be goofballs.
Yeah, if they would have let him do
If
his
that
thing.
24/7 segment wouldn't have happened during that match, I think that match could have been a lot more than what it really was.
Yeah. Then we got another Street Profit thing.
Street
Yeah, they just
Profit
came out
promo.
and danced really.
They're at the
Didn't
point
really
now.
do
It's
much.
like, please wrestle.
Yeah.
Stop talking. Just
Yeah.
wrestle. Like,
Clearly, you're saying you want the smoke. Then find somebody in the back.
Yeah,
Say,
yeah,
hey,
they
we
did-
want a match.
They need a
Let's-
feud. They need a
Yeah.
feud.
You could have took that 8-minute promo and cut a 10-minute match.
Yep.
Yeah.
A match that I didn't want because we got it the week before, but it's still a good match, was Ricochet McIntyre.
That's getting old for me already. As much as I love Drew and I love Ricochet, it's getting very old. Let's change it up. Maybe a different member of Team Flair against Ricochet. I mean,
Well, that thing's over now, so maybe they do move on.
yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, I think so.
I'm a fan of this. I know it's not going to get a good grade when it comes to a match quality, but I like the quote unquote jobbers.
Yeah.
Not only do I like it, but I do also like because when they come to a Philadelphia or they come to a Pittsburgh, there's a really high chance it's
It's a local guy.
it's going to be somebody we know.
yeah, exactly. And they're getting in there, even they're getting squashed, but it's fun. It's fun for us as a fan or the local scene.
And then the
to
Viking
kinda-
Raiders
Here-
just squash
here's
these
the-
two random
Here's the
dudes.
problem I have. They've been doing squash matches for over 6 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Now that you're tag champions, you got to start beating regular people.
it's crazy.
And now it seems like,
Like-
they're using the same.
like-
the Beaver Boys are always jobbing whether it's WWE
Like,
or
why
or,
did them
AEW?
job guys lose a 5-minute job to private or Street Profits?
Yeah.
And see,
Yeah.
there you go, and put them over rather than the Vikings.
the thing is
Raiders were
it's-
always the fucking tag champs.
It seems like they don't want to pull the trigger on the tag team division, but they're
No, they
still
don't.
trying to protect certain
Well,
ones.
Vince always
by-
said, "Why should I pay 2 guys when I can pay 1 guy?"
It's crazy.
So-
I think right
If-
now
if you
the
have that
best
logic-
possible scenario for the Viking Raiders, put the Bludgeon Brothers back together. I think that might be the best possible
Yeah.
scenario for a hell of a match.
But Vince hates. Luke
I mean,
Harper.
but here's the thing too. You have the Bludgeon Brothers, who are a power team,
Who are
If-
split up because Luke Harper's
Yeah.
sitting at home.
Yeah, you would have AOP. You would have the Viking. You would. I mean, when it comes
Yeah,
to
just
like
put them 3.
when it
Yeah.
comes to powerful teams, you have 3 of them. You're sitting on right there.
It
Yeah.
seems like they're going to do OC War Raiders maybe because of Crown Jewel. I know we're jumping a little bit ahead, but
Yeah.
I think they might be going that direction.
Okay. Then we had Andrade versus Sin Cara. It wasn't a crazy match, but we got to see Sin Cara brought out. I think she's like
Catalina.
Catalina.
Well,
yeah.
it said Catalina, but then their name that came up said something else.
It's Catalina Garcia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're
she's a
saying
new-
she's like 20.
Yeah, she just came in. She was part of that new class with Austin Theory, and she like just started in the Performance Center. And now they have her on
And
TV.
I'll give these two this much for how much they have worked together in the past.
It was a good
They're
match.
solid every time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they're both pretty good.
Then a match that I thought was really good, and why didn't they do this when they had the belts?
Mm-hmm.
The Iconics actually were able to wrestle and actually show that they
Well, one
can
of them
do in-ring stuff. I mean, I know they do the high-pitched screaming, but I'm a fan of that because it's character.
That's their gimmick, yeah.
But they actually got to do a match against Natalia and Charlotte, which is a good tag team, and they actually were like, they were up a little bit, they were down. Obviously, they lost on a low, but
How long was that match really? Because it took me 3 minutes to walk into the back room of the gym,
It
change,
wasn't
and
very
come back
long.
out, and it was over.
Yeah, it wasn't very long, but at least we got to see them in action a little bit. Then we had the False Count Anywhere, Seth Rollins, Eric Rowan. I know a lot of people liked it. It didn't do much.
They did the
for me.
half-time heat finish.
Yeah, they did,
the forklift.
The forklift finish, but it didn't do much for
You gotta
me.
make Seth a bad guy already.
It's coming, I think.
AJ Humberto, I thought that was a good match.
Pretty good, yeah.
Humberto Carrillo is being undervalued right now by WWE, and once he takes off, I think it's going to be a great steal for Monday Night Raw.
Well,
on
they
the
kind of
draft
just
pick.
threw him on. Like if you've never watched 205 Live, you're like, who the hell's this guy? And they don't tell you.
So then this is
Him
kind
and
of
his White
something.
Ranger gear.
Yeah. Now this is kind of something that's interesting because you have a segment that everyone says they hate, but it's the most watched clip on YouTube immediately after Raw, and that's the Rusev divorce court with Jerry the King Lawler.
I have not seen it.
I did not watch it. I'm not interested.
People are looking for it. They want to know what this next part of the story is. If it's going to get Rusev over as a top babyface and go over a big opponent, I'm for it.
I'm gonna say no.
I don't know.
It hasn't done anything for him yet.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the goal here. And it seems like it's going to be one of those things where they have a bunch of matches and Rusev doesn't really win any of them, and then he goes away when his contract ends, and Lashley's still spinning his wheels.
Yeah,
I
because
think-
they want Bobby Lashley to wrestle for the
Bob Lashley,
Yeah,
if you go by
Bob.
Rusev, which I
Yeah.
love. Bob Lashley.
for the
I think we
Universal
covered
title.
it in the group chat. I mean, you were talking about it. Didn't Lana say Rusev was a sex addict? And okay,
Well, no,
so you're
so she said he was a sex addict,
Yeah.
right? And then she literally changed her story 4 times in that same promo.
so
She didn't like Rusev because she was a sex addict.
But you're gonna go
then
sleep with Lashley?
But
Yeah.
then
It makes no sense.
But
No, it
then
doesn't.
she also said she didn't want to have a baby and Rusev did. So she went from he wanted too much sex to he wanted a kid, and then she didn't like it was like
So
it was-
I'm gonna go bang this other guy
Yeah.
because he want too much sex.
it just didn't make
That's
sense.
Vince. That's such shit. Look at that.
God damn it, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, he's like he's black and she's white.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Look at that. And like I'm
being edgy.
and it's one of those things too where I think they've said that it's one of those things where he thinks that she's too good for him, so
Yeah.
he's trying to break them up in real life.
Yeah,
and,
that's what he thinks. Like,
You're not going to
I'd
break
want out
up
of there.
a couple like that. I mean, that you've seen
It's
it.
wrestling. It's happened.
Yeah.
I know it's happened, but you see them behind the cameras.
They're really
Yeah.
together. Like
yeah,
they are-
travel together. They
are
room
super,
together.
They're super into each other.
But
They're
no,
like
they shared that clip or whatever. Or she's traveling with Bobby Lashley. She picture them in the plane. I was like, oh god.
Yeah. Real quick segue. If you guys see us at a show, I'm going to give a couple to Andy too. So if you see Andy at a show, we do have these things. They are
These things.
They are absolutely free. But if you want to throw a donation, if you do get one, you're more than welcome to. But we got the tornado tag buttons.
I have one on my hat right here.
Yeah.
I can't
Oh,
point
it's
into a
kinda
camera.
upside down,
It's
but,
upside down.
It's
They can't see it from that far
upside
away.
down.
barely hanging on too. But if you come to a
Thank you,
wrestling
Charlie
if you
Sheen.
come to a wrestling show and you see them, we only have a handful. We don't have a lot. Obviously, your boy's poor. All right, I'm trying to buy equipment, and I still want to get some stuff that I can give you guys to support and merch, and we can get our name out there. But if you do see us at a show, we do have tornado tag buttons. They are absolutely free. But once again, if you want to help us out,
They're
And
$25.
ask us if we have any stickers, because
Yeah.
I have a few left.
you do have stickers.
I have a few
I
left.
might have a few stickers as well. I don't know, but we do have some stickers as well. But like I said, if you want to rock a cool shirt, you can also get one of these. But if you see us at a show, the next couple shows coming out, come check us out. We have some buttons. That being said, let's quick cut into AEW this week. Starts off with the little trailer with Cody and
Tony Schiavone.
Tony
Okay,
Schiavone.
yeah, yeah.
Now,
Getting off the plane.
you have a little thing about this.
It was basically an homage or rip off whatever
Yeah.
of Starrcade '93 when Ric Flair is leaving his house in Charlotte and riding in the limo with Gene Okerlund.
Yeah, because he's going to
Yeah.
wrestle Vader.
Yeah.
and he was hurt or whatever.
And if you go back to that, you can see a very young Charlotte at Rick's house, and
Yes.
unfortunately Reed sadly is there. Like, obviously, it's
And-
one of the
and,
most tragic things. David,
And Megan.
Megan,
Yeah.
the future Mrs. Conrad.
Yeah. Living in the Conrad.
So we got our first match with Hangman Page and Sammy Guevara.
That was pretty good.
It was good, yeah.
It was a good match,
Yeah.
but I think I want a little more from Hangman.
Well, I mean, for first match, you gotta think it's TV show, so you're not getting the 5-star match.
Yeah,
But,
they're kind of saving the
yeah,
big
I did
ones
like
for-
that he
They're
finished
going
him
to
off.
save him for Full Gear.
Yeah, they finished him off with the buckshot lariat.
Yeah.
Instead of the-
Well, he told Pac,
Right
you
past
damn well I'm going to buckshot your damn head off. So.
and then he
new
cut that
t-shirt.
promo. Yeah, and he said,
And-
"Do some cowboy
Wow,
shit."
that was loud.
Yeah.
You probably heard that over the mic. It is
Yeah.
thundering like crazy. I hope we don't lose power. That would
Yeah.
suck.
And by the way, R.I.P. Hunter Horse Helmsley.
Yeah,
who
yeah.
did
Yeah,
pass
Hunter
away.
Horse Helmsley did
I think
pass
that
away.
probably we should check. I'm gonna check actually. That's probably shirt and pros and tees. The cowboy shit one.
Yeah, yeah, that should be a shirt now. Dude, cowboy shit.
It's funny. I was listening to Tony Schiavone's podcast with Conrad Thompson, and they were talking about, I think it was his, and they were talking about like how they ration out being able to say shit on
They've gotten
AEW.
away with a few things
The-
already
it-
on national television.
It seems like they can say shit once a show. Because he was saying how when Jericho said it, they told the announcers don't say shit because
Yeah.
the first week, the 1 week was JR, and it's almost like in the movies, if you have a PG-13 movie, you can say fuck one time.
Yes. Yep.
And so it
That's
seems
our
like
one time.
It seems like TNT's rule is you can say shit once on a show.
Yeah. I started watching this match, getting prepared, but I didn't get to finish it. But this is Sheeta versus Shana.
I thought it went a little bit long. It was good, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sean looked pretty good, but Akara Sheeta's not really catching on.
No,
the one that really caught on, they brought back twice, and that's Yuka Sakazaki.
Yeah.
That should be the world champion.
You haven't seen Aja Kong since either.
No, but I understand that because she's,
Yeah.
she's
Broken down a little
I don't think
bit,
she's
yeah.
going to sign a full-time contract or anything.
Same thing with
Awesome Kong.
You know, Aja Kong, the Japanese girl.
Oh, the
The-
older
the
The
lady?
one that
blonde hair,
squared
yeah,
off
yeah.
with Awesome Kong at All
Yeah.
Out.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of those two are hurting.
So I mean,
bodies
Akara
aren't-
Sheeta, she's good, but I don't know. The other girl kind of shined a little bit.
Yeah. Then we had Santana and Ortiz attack the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah, because they came out the
Yeah,
belts.
Ricky Morton
Which
taking a big bump.
I would assume that's going to be a match for Full Gear, right?
Well, Full Gear, they're wrestling the Bucks.
Oh, are they? Okay,
Yeah.
then maybe that's a match.
Maybe
down
on
the line or
TV.
something.
Maybe the Rock and Roll Express get involved.
100% the Rock and Roll
Yeah,
Express. coming
maybe
out.
next week. Next week they could do rock and rolls, and they're in Charlotte. That's good rock and roll territory.
yeah,
they could
definitely.
do.
If I don't see a Canadian destroyer out of Ricky Morton, I'm upset already.
Well, they already did it against LAX. If Janela's Spring Break, they wrestled,
Yeah.
and he did a planche. He did a Canadian destroyer
Then we get Best Friends and Arn Cassidy in action.
as Rick and Morty.
Yeah, and Morty introduced them.
Yeah.
Coming to the ring, best friends. That was really good. And there was 2 Ricks because Orange Cassidy was Rick as well.
Yeah. Oh my! It sounded like gunshots going
But
off.
and they
outside.
wrestled the Beaver Boys and somebody else, I forget.
Who aren't they
Matt.
working for right now?
And then afterwards they go over. Oh no, never mind. That was another match. But it was a good match. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Then we got Cody and Chris Jericho signing the contract for full gear.
It wasn't bad. Chris Jericho has David S. Pumpkins jacket on.
And then another stealing a WCW angle because in the back, Guevara and Jake Hager are beating up Dustin Rhodes, and they slam his hand in the car door, which was, we'll get to Halloween Havoc later, Halloween Havoc 91. Arn Anderson and Larry Zbyszko did that to Barry Windham. And then
yeah,
the
I
same
remember.
thing,
Yeah.
And then Larry Zbyszko from that got one of the worst nicknames ever, the Cruncher.
the crunch.
The Cruncher.
And Dustin's head really did dent that car. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
And he's going for it too. He's wearing a cast.
Did they? Oh, they
Yeah.
did that whole thing.
Speaking of that, we'll get into it a little bit later, but I don't know if this is the name of the team, but Kissed by a Rhodes.
I don't
is-
know, but that was tag team.
phenomenal.
I didn't know I won it, but they work really well together.
Yeah. Good for them. I love that a lot. Then the Elite versus Kip Sabian and the Hybrid 2.
I thought it was a very good match.
And once again, they found a way to make Angelico and Jack Evans more of a turnoff to me with the Hybrid 2 name.
Jack Evans had some nice
Do
stuff
they
in
still
that
have
match.
highlighter green gear?
Yeah,
Yes.
they need new
And
gear.
don't get me wrong, I love both dudes in the ring. Jack Evans is one of the first dudes I've ever seen breakdance and hit a 630 in the ring. I love his style, but the name sucks. The gear sucks.
Yeah. I
Something's
agree.
got to give there.
Them, and then right behind him in line is the Dark Order for new gear, new name.
I mean, you could have just called them the Hybrids, and I would have been okay with it.
Speaking of people that Desean would have went through in Chikara, the Dark Order, Super Smash Brothers.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. I believe I've watched them wrestle.
Then we got John Moxley in action.
Well, no, he came out because the librarian was out. He beat the librarian. Cuts
Beat
a
up
good
Peter
promo.
Avalon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we get the AEW Tag Team Championship Finals, SCU versus Lucha Bros.
I was surprised here.
And we get I kind of thought they were going SCU.
Sadly, I must admit, I have not seen this match.
It's
I
very good.
I didn't know which way they were going to
I
go.
must
It
go
was
home
very
and watch
good.
I think once for me anyway, I'm not trying to say like, I know it all, but it just seemed like to me once they eliminated one of the members and they had that like we're gonna avenge our friend story. I couldn't talk there for a second. And then obviously what's his name in the team is one of the older guys,
Daniels.
Yeah, and Daniel. So I just think given that, and they're guys who. I'm not saying they don't have a lot left, but they're up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it doesn't do
Believe
much.
it or not, Kazarian and Scorpio Sky are a hell of a lot younger. Daniels is almost 50.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they could use it more at this point in time than the Lucha Bros. Lucha Bros have done everything. Like, do I?
They'll
Lucha,
win the
See,
tag belts
it's a
eventually.
pro and con thing. I mean,
Lucha Bros will be AEW champions at one point.
My thought was that they were going to have Lucha Bros beat Daniels or Kazarian and Scorpio, and then wrestle Daniels and Kazarian at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But maybe they're doing more long-term booking
see,
than that.
the hit and miss thing for me is this right now. I mean, not a lot of people know who SCU is. Now with the belts, they know who they are.
Yeah.
You look at the Lucha
and
Bros.
Scorpio-
It don't matter what promotion you've looked at. You know who Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. are.
and,
you know
and
exactly. Who they
SCU
are.
definitely has
Well, I don't think
really put themselves over in this tournament.
if you know who Ray Phoenix and Pentagon, then you know who SCU is. Because if
You
didn't-
definitely know who Christopher
if you didn't
Daniels
If you
is,
don't know
yeah.
SCU, then you wouldn't know.
I disagree. I'm a guy who does. I know Pentagon through Lucha Underground.
Yeah, really?
I didn't know who SCU was coming into this.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But for
You
the
watch Impact.
Impact watchers,
I never-
people
yeah, I
like
never
that,
watched
See,
it.
I watched Daniels, Kazarian, AJ, and all them in the X Division back when TNA was in its high point.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the thing I want to ask real quick. Maybe you guys know this. Impact.
Yep.
When it's on TV,
Yep.
is it also streaming on Twitch?
I believe so.
I don't know.
Or it might be on a
Sundays
Oh, okay.
show.
So it reruns on Sunday on Twitch.
The Saturday show will be a pay-per-view taping for one of their future dates.
No. He's talking about the weekly TV show.
The weekly TV
Oh,
show.
I don't think so.
Because what's his name from the Smart Mark?
Gary?
Brain fart. No, the redhead guy.
Smart Mark Video?
The Smart Mark website. He's always commenting on Steven sent me a link saying.
Oh, I was thinking Smart Mark Video. Okay.
Yeah, he's sent me a link saying that Impact has its own.
They do have a
They have
Twitch
a Twitch
channel.
channel, yeah.
They do have
and
a Twitch
I think
channel.
they're showing the new stuff on there as well.
Maybe it comes on the day after. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
maybe the
That's a
day
good
after.
question.
I
If
don't
anyone
think-
knows that, please
Yeah.
put that in the chat. Help
But
me out a little
I know
bit
for a fact that
there. It's going to be a loud pop soon.
the PPW show is a taping for Saturday, and then I believe Sundays is live on Twitch.
Yeah. Now here's a fun fact you don't know. Do you know who Scorpio Sky's partner was when he was a tag team years ago?
No.
Called the Aerial Express.
Nope.
Excalibur.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, all those guys are like PWG.
Yeah.
All right, so I did watch this. I'm hooked.
I only
man.
watched a couple of things.
NXT is my. I'm not saying I like one more than the other. I am saying I like one more than the other, but I don't think either show is bad.
Yes.
But
This was the
NXT
first week
has
where I
me.
was like, I'm watching NXT live and watching AW later. I was really hyped for NXT this
So
week.
we start the show with a live music, Poppy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andy sent me a clip. I absolutely hate it.
It was fucking awesome. I loved it.
Really. I didn't. I'm not this. I mean, I watched one of her songs. I
The
was like,
song she did for the show was awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
I just,
So it's like heavy metal with a girl singer, but she's like strange.
Yeah.
But everyone in the band looks like girls, but they're wearing masks
Yeah,
like
I've
ghosts.
seen that, yeah.
It's interesting. But they did like the guitar sounded good and stuff.
Did they
It's
do a remix of a VO song?
So yeah, they did a song and then
No,
they,
it's one of the songs that she had.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
Poppy song.
Okay.
yeah,
It's
they
called,
did
like,
one of her
Scary
songs,
Mask.
but no, they did Scary Mask and they cut into Io Shirai. Didn't
Oh,
they?
okay.
Yeah.
I thought they did. Maybe. Yeah, they might have.
Either way, but Io Shirai came out and they're like in each other's
Yeah.
face and dancing.
It
was
made Io look
real-
like a big deal.
It was
Okay,
cool.
cool.
It was
Yeah.
it was like a takeover entrance.
Yeah.
On TV. I thought it was awesome. I loved it. I am so over. I'm so like Io Shirai is so over for me. She's so good.
Yeah, that's
like
what, yeah.
Now,
She was voted, like,
here's
the best
my
women's
thing
wrestler in Japan.
with NXT. Well, I know we talked about this again in the group chat. With NXT now being on TV, don't be surprised if you see WWE Network viewership going down even more because, no offense, that was kind of the only reason I kept my membership going as long as it was to watch NXT.
You're gonna keep it for pay per views. You're gonna pay $60 a month to pay for a pay per view.
I don't even know if I'm going to watch it.
Obviously,
It's
yeah.
not worth it because we're literally sitting here with
What
the
about
pick 'em
takeovers?
scorecards and we have an idea what's going to happen.
What about when they have takeovers though?
I might do it for
Just
a
don't do it for
takeover.
those
Because that's what I
months,
thought. I was like, man, I might-
$9.99 is just worth it for the pay per views.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even I.
But
which-
how
how
many
there's a lot of
pay-per-views
old-
have we sat here and collectively we've picked almost every single thing
Well,
that's
you could
happened.
do it with takeovers. I mean, sometimes you don't know, but you know.
When was the last time we were like,
some
oh
of
my
those
god, I
cards-
didn't see that coming?
Realistic, some of those cards are on the high points like 167, and we're scoring like 98. So we're not getting dead nuts on every time.
And not
As a collective group, we have a very good idea.
predictability is not always a bad thing.
yeah,
Like, I feel like I know who's going to win most of the big matches in AEW, too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, when was the last time we were all generally surprised that something happened?
today.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was pretty surprised.
I mean, I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
I kind of thought it was gonna happen, but I'll get into my theory on that in a minute.
And as far as this EO Candice match, the one thing that Candice's nose leaking like a what was it?
a political document.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Shut up.
That's a stretch.
So this is the BR Bleacher Report. They give a rundown and actually grade every match.
really? Wow.
Not one match on AEW was higher than a B plus. This Io Shirai Candice LeRae, it got an A.
EO is probably the best woman they have. She
Yeah.
might be the best women's wrestler. in
And
the
yet
business
she's going to
right
get jumped over for Rhea Ripley when it comes to taking the title off of Shayna Baszler.
now. Maybe. And Rhea is a
I don't
star,
know.
so I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
I
too.
would.
Rhea
Yeah,
is
I
a
wouldn't be
star.
mad with that.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
If I was Io Shirai, I'd be a little upset because, you know, I've been here longer. I've been doing this here, and you're just going to waltz in.
Io could be that girl though who can just not get the title and move right up to main roster.
I don't think she needs to go to the main roster, to be honest.
We had a flicker.
Would you want to though?
I wouldn't. Honestly,
I'd rather be in NXT.
I mean, a couple of those guys have the right idea saying, I want to go back to NXT. Things seem like it's a little bit better there.
If we quick cut out, it's not because we
a
shut off.
storm,
It's
yeah.
Storm, and
We have a massive
It's
storm
not.
on
It's
top
not
of us
Lance
right
Storm. It's
yeah,
not Tim
no
Storm
Lance Storm.
Or James Storm.
It flickered a little
or
bit.
Tony
so-
Storm.
now. Don't feel bad. We're in a tornado watch until midnight.
Yeah, we're in a tornado tag watch. Hey!
Texas tornado.
It's always tornado tag. It's always a tornado watch on Thursdays.
Texas tornado. I have both my feet.
So Finn Balor comes out and puts
cut a hot promo.
an awesome, and it was short and sweet.
Yeah, that's a good
Almost too sweet.
kind of puts Seth in his place there a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put Bray in his place.
And then he comes out, he does the arm flail, and no lights.
Yeah,
It's dark. The spotlight's on him, and he's basically showing like enough
well,
is enough.
They even showed a clip of him. I think it might have been on the FS1 show where he was saying that, yeah, it's like how being in Raw or SmackDown, you can hide behind the lighting, you can hide, but so that he's doing that whole strip down, like Prince Devitt thing. No,
this match here, this is a great example for me of why I'm digging NXT a lot more. It seems like every week they throw someone out there that I've never heard of before, and by the end of the show, I'm like, they put on a great fucking match, and that's the Shane Thorne and Bronson Reed match. I thought it was a good match.
You've heard of Shane Thorne before.
It was pretty
just
solid.
while he was in a tag team.
yeah,
What's that?
His partner.
He was
New Japan.
TM61, the Mighty.
Yeah, they
No
were.
idea.
They were. What was
Were
their
they
name?
Ronnie
Don't kneel
Takeover?
in Japan.
Huh?
No.
Were they ever on a takeover?
Yeah,
They did.
They were
What was their name?
Takeover Philly.
The,
they had a massive match against AOP.
The Mighty.
They were the TM61 in NXT and the Mighty, and in Japan they were the Mighty Don't Kneel.
Yeah. Okay, they're TM61. Yeah.
They did the big thing they did was the first time they brought back the shark cage. It was AOP and them, and Paul Ellering was in the shark cage.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
they
on
tore the
TakeOver.
house down.
That was a great match.
They tore the house down.
and they only did that because they went to sell a shark cage action
Yeah,
figure place.
yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have too much charisma.
And then Shane Thorne wrestled Gargano on the first NXT on USA against AEW.
Okay. And then we got the tag team champs, Kabuki Warriors versus Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox.
That match was extremely solid. I have no complaints about
Once
that
again,
match.
Bleacher
I'd
Report
love to
gave
watch
it an
that,
A.
yeah.
So that's 2 A's in one night for NXT.
That's for good women in a match.
Yeah.
So
And then it ends with the Mist, which please and here. All right, before we even get to the Mist and the whole crowd going crazy, here's why I'm scared of that leaving Full Sail, because Asuka coming back, like you could just tell from people that were part of the NXT family and then went away and then came back. They were trying to be heels, but Kairi Sane and Asuka were loving that the crowd was like,
yeah.
welcome, and she's dancing.
Yeah.
That's happening everywhere though. Like that's one of the reasons they did. Apparently, they did the thing with Paige is they don't want them getting that babyface reaction. They were in Australia wrestling the Iconics, and the Iconics were getting booed and they were getting cheered.
Yeah.
Yeah. The crowd, and then the crowd's going, Asuka's gonna kill you, and Asuka's like,
She's getting into it again.
It just turned her up to 11 again, like
Yeah.
like where she would like that Asuka we got at NXT was NXT Asuka, And what we get is a Raw Asuka where she's like, I just got to go out there and do this, and this is my job. Where she felt like someone whispered in her ear, like, go out and have fun.
Yeah.
And
That's
it
the-
showed.
that's
The same thing happened with Tyler Breeze when he came back. I think he got one of the loudest pops I've ever heard in that
Yeah.
crowd when he came back.
Yeah, it was a fun match. And then after the match, we get a huge scrum. Everyone's fighting everybody. William Regal.
Donnybrook.
Somebody
Pierce
hit
the
somebody.
Yeah, William Regal comes out and says, there's only one way this is going to get settled, and that's War Games.
Yeah.
Well, he said,
But
War Games.
No,
But
no.
There's one girl missing. Yet.
Yeah, that's what I was about to get to my point.
So
There's
is it 5 on
girls.
5?
There's
Yeah.
5 on 4 right now.
Yeah.
There's a good guy missing.
So we need one person for Team Rhea Ripley.
Who do you think we're getting?
Tony Storm.
The rumor was Mia Yim, maybe.
I can see Mia
I know
Yim.
what I would love to see, and I don't know if she's up for it. I think
Well,
I
who's on-
think she has it in the chamber. It would be Beth Phoenix.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Who's
How
on?
about that?
Who's on
That's a good
Team
one.
Team Baszler? It's Baszler,
Baszler,
Shafir,
Duke,
Bianca
Belair, and
Bill,
Io.
and Io.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a pretty formidable team
See,
right
I
there.
And
thought-
you have Duke come in at the very end.
Yeah.
I
You
thought
have
it
them
was.
two, well, that's a good match for them because Shannon could be in first,
Yeah, he
and
could
then
be
she
hidden.
can carry them,
Yep.
and then they can
then
get eliminated.
Candace,
See,
Rhea.
I thought it was going to be 4 on 4, and Baszler wasn't going to be part of it.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And now apparently it's 5 on 5.
It's gonna have to be 5 on 5 because you're not gonna have all of them out there and tell them it's a War Games match. And now, oh shit, we got to cut somebody out of the match.
Yeah.
Unless they do a thing where, like, Jessamine or
So,
Marina
no,
gets
it-
attacked.
it's
or
real
something,
easy.
yeah.
Shannon has
So-
to defend the title.
Yeah.
But,
War Games
Against who, though? Everybody's in the War Games.
yeah.
We all saw what happened last
Tony
year.
Storm.
Does
Yeah, Tony
Io
Storm.
Shirai try to one up Ricochet?
Oh, when she jumped out. Yeah.
When
Yeah,
Ricochet did the double
she'll
moonsault, does
moon-
Io have to double up?
She'll moonsault off the cage.
Yeah. She's fucking crazy.
She's crazy. Ricochet did a double moonsault clean, almost landed on his feet.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. NXT Ricochet was amazing. Then we get Tyler Bate versus Cameron Grimes. Good match.
I wasn't the biggest Trevor Lee fan, but he was winning me over.
Yeah.
That finish looks
I
great.
didn't hear anything about
I mean,
this.
he's got that little dastardly streak going to him again,
Did-
like he
did-
had at the end of his
did-
Impact
did
run.
Trevor Lee win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
We had some
Killian
interference
Dane.
from Killian Dane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Seems like they're going to build up to Killian Dane and Cameron
Bate.
Grimes against Tyler Bate. And
I was
Pete
never
Dunne.
too big on Killian Dane.
Yeah.
I don't really see much of him other than being a big dude.
Let's be honest, what they threw him right into Sanity. He never got a chance to be himself.
Man, Sanity never got a chance.
Undisputed Era. Kyle O'Reilly versus Bobby Fish versus Keith Lee and Matt Riddle. Good match.
I was gonna say, that
Keith
sounds
Lee
pretty
is
good.
finally shining in NXT now.
What
He has been
was
a-
their tag team name way back then? I can't think of it.
Riddle and Keith Lee?
Yes.
Oh, I can't even. Oh, I don't know.
I have no idea.
My favorite thing happening right now with the Matt Riddle thing is how
Was it
he
Bake in his glory?
Maybe.
where he throws the spear and then hits the jackhammer and everyone's going Riddle.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's just like that.
You know, sooner or
that
later,
kind of
Goldberg's going to show up out of the blue and be like, so.
What if it happens?
I will be shocked that Goldberg shows up in NXT.
Yeah, I would really be shocked because that ain't happening.
if anyone could pull it off, it'd be NXT though.
I mean,
Who would
what
get,
would you do if you saw Goldberg show up on the NXT stage in front of Matt Riddle?
who,
would be
who would
very-
get booed out of the building in
Goldberg.
NXT?
Goldberg.
Come on now.
Goldberg, he couldn't go down there and win.
No. Well, they would. It'd be a riot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they would throw stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think Goldberg would put Matt Riddle over and let him win?
I guess with money,
If the price is right,
yeah,
yeah.
the price is right. I'll put anybody over.
Hey,
Yeah.
here's $15 million. Go out there for
'Cause he's not
8 minutes and
All
make
right,
him look
he's
good.
not
I'm not a Goldberg fan.
an ongoing wrestler, so he doesn't have to.
Yeah, I'm not a Goldberg fan. And I know a lot of people are upset with the Brock Lesnar thing and how he comes in and he doesn't wrestle for months on end and da 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 da.
Yeah.
But here's one thing about Brock Lesnar. He plays a great asshole, but he knows when to put somebody
He doesn't
over.
have to play a great hassle. He is an asshole.
He is, but he does still do the business. He'll go out there and sell for you and make you look like you are killing him.
Yeah.
And
He's-
then
if he's-
15 minutes later,
if he
he's
wants
laughing
to.
at you when the match is over.
He's good in the ring. He's good. Lesnar's good in the ring.
If he wants to be good.
Yeah. He sells. He makes it look legit. Like,
I'd love to see Brock Lesnar actually wrestle a match and not just hit somebody with 18 German suplexes and 7 F5s.
I thought the match with him and Daniel Bryan was good.
Yeah.
I thought the match with him and Finn Balor was good.
Yeah, the smaller guys.
and-
it seems
I'd like to
AJ,
see like a
Samoa
scoop
Joe.
slam, a vertical suplex, a clothesline.
Well,
Yeah.
then go back and watch what WrestleMania. Which one was Kurt Angle?
19.
Yeah. There you
Yeah.
go.
You also see him almost kill himself.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that
The
moonsault.
shooting star headbutt.
So then we get
Straight to the mat.
Then we kind of hint at another War Games.
Well, more than hint. He's Ciampa says, "Daddy's going to war."
Yeah.
That's a pretty clear sign.
So you would need a fourth man for the babyface team there.
So it would be Undisputed Era versus
Dijak.
I would say
It's got to be Dijak or Velveteen.
Yeah, I think he
depends
might-
on-
if
think-
Velveteen's cleared
Yeah,
by
I
then.
think he's still hurt.
Because I was thinking it would be Undisputed Era and Finn against DIY, Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, and Dijak.
Yeah. Unless they make that a
I'd-
4-on-4 one.
Yeah, and then they do maybe Ciampa and
Yeah.
or not Ciampa, Gargano and Finn separate.
Yeah.
Even if it's a 4-on-4 match, go with DIY, Keith Lee, and Dijak. I mean, that you'd sell me on that match.
Yeah, against Undisputed Era. And
Yeah,
then you just do
yeah.
Finn and Johnny separately because that seems to be the feud they're setting up there.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we got a little bit for AEW Dark and NWA? I didn't watch either one.
the
so.
AEW Dark had that tag match with Sonny Kiss and Goldust.
Dustin.
How was it?
It was good. It was real good.
Good match.
Yeah.
I'm just
They-
glad Sonny's getting some exposure. I think he's good.
And they had matching gear. They were both black and red. I don't know
Yeah.
if that was intentional. Who they wrestled? The Librarian and
QT Marshall.
QT
right?
Marshall,
Yeah.
which is some guy that Cody.
Like if he was the guy that teamed with the other guys in the
So-
yeah.
Rick and Morty match.
Yeah.
Put yourself in Sonny's shoes.
Yeah.
You get signed.
Yeah.
We're going to team you up with Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, that's great.
How
That's
does
perfect.
that?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be
Especially-
like, okay.
And you could tell he was like generally happy. You know?
Yeah, like
And
that's fucking.
especially in a company where you know they're going to value the tag teams.
yeah.
Yep.
You're going to team up.
I think that there's some.
You're going to team
an idea
up
there.
with the CEO's older brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, please. you know what I mean?
It's
Like,
a good spot.
Don't got to twist my arm if I means I'm getting a
Yeah.
little bit of TV
But
time.
and then you're real flamboyant. And he was the most well-known flamboyant wrestler ever.
yeah,
You know, so
100%.
the bizarre
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, the bizarre one. That's because I couldn't say flamboyant on TV.
Well, you
also.
couldn't say gay, so you would say.
Yeah.
Oh, he's bizarre.
Well, he wasn't gay though. He was.
I know,
just-
but that was
he
the,
was
the
just
intended. You know,
what was the word? I forget what they. Used.
I mean, if you
androgynous. That's what.
Yeah,
if you really want to
Androgynous.
talk about flamboyant, we might as well talk about Dalton Castle.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard anything of him recently at all. I guess he's
still
still
in
floundering in
ROH, yeah.
ROH.
And,
ROH is floundering.
And as far
I
as
think he's going to leave there and he'll end up in AEW at some point. I mean, AEW is the best landing spot, or maybe Impact.
The only problem with him is he's very injury.
Yeah, he's
ridden.
been
He
beaten
needs
up
to-
a little
like,
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what else happened on Dark?
What was there? The main event was Jay Lethal.
Oh boy,
What's his name? Jack Evans versus Jimmy Havoc versus
Darby
Darby
Allin.
Allin. It was pretty good. And Darby Allin won the coffin drop. A chair with the coffin drop.
Yeah, I think
It
that was like a
little bit of a wild match, and there was a 4-way girls match that went on pretty long, and it was pretty good. It was not Hikaru Shida. It was the Emi Sakura,
Yeah,
the queen one.
Bea Priestley.
Penelope Ford, who still needs some work, and Ali and Sadie Gibbs. It was really good. It was a good 4-way.
And as far as NWA Power, you had it was really a lot less squash matches and more competitive.
More
stuff
matches,
this week.
yeah. The Dawsons versus Eddie Kingston and the Homicide. The Notorious Inc. It was an anything goes match.
You had women's
In a
match.
studio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. In the studio,
Well, they kept it in the ring for the
yeah,
most
but they were
part,
using
yeah.
chairs and stuff.
Okay.
You had the match with
Ashley Vox.
Ashley Vox and-
what's her name?
Marty Bell.
Marty Bell. Yeah, and Ashley Vox won.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Marty Bell's still wrestling.
Yeah, she looked good.
Yeah.
She did lose, but they're really keeping
And they
that,
had
like, a-
Allison Kay outside. Like she, was, you both don't deserve a title shot.
and then
but I'm
Thunder
gonna watch this
Rosa
match.
shows up.
Yeah, they
The-
did that weird over the thing where they played the drum. Like over, and
Yeah,
I
it was
like,
really loud too.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't understand.
And the main event, the whole thing they were setting up was that James Storm wants a shot at Nick Aldis in the NWA World Title, and Colt Cabana was a shot at James Storm's national title. So they did a 6-man tag at the very end. You had James Storm and Wildcard, who were the tag team champions. It's I forget his name, Tom Latimer.
Yeah, Tom Latimer.
Bram
Yeah.
and Royce Isaacs with James Storm against Colt Cabana, Ken Anderson, I think he's going by there,
Yeah.
and Nick Aldis. Team Aldis wins, so that means Colt Cabana and James Storm probably, I'm going to guess, it into the fire
Yeah,
in the
because
pay-per-view.
if
or
they
before?
won, Colt Cabana gets the national title shot.
Yeah.
But if
James Storm won.
Yeah, if he wins, he gets the world title shot. But the stipulation was he'd have to give up a forfeit the
Yeah.
national title
You'd have to give up the national title.
to get to be able to get the world title shot, which is pretty cool. So there's some
You see,
stakes
you have a
involved in
lot of old Impact stars like James Storm, Bram, Nick Aldis, who all started there, and they're working their way slowly in NWA. Well, how long is it going to take before guys like that start being like, hey, maybe we could bring them into a bigger company like a WWE and
that. See, I
AEW?
don't know who's signed. If they
Yeah, I
have
don't know what kind of
contracts or-
deals they're under.
Yeah.
Because like Rock and Rolls are going to be coming in. They tease that.
Yeah.
And they're on AEW, so it might be a handshake deal. It might. I'm sure certain guys
Yeah.
like Aldis are signed, but it depends.
Yeah, like-
Well, I think
Eli
as long
Drake.
as Aldis has the 10 pounds of gold, he's not going anywhere.
I would imagine they have him under.
I
a more
don't see him
concrete
losing
deal.
it for a while. Either.
No, he has been a revelation. He is a great champion for that company.
And they
He's
have the
very
whole thing-
old school. He's very committed to what he does. Even when in his run in Impact was coming down to an end, like he still,
Magnus.
he knew he was leaving, but he still upheld that professionalism to carry the belt with that much standard.
But NWA it's a great show and it flies by. Like, it's done already.
I was gonna watch it this
easy to
Sunday,
watch.
but I got caught up on some stuff.
And then you get to watch Tony Falk's Waffle House and Times
If you buy 3 waffles, you get 4 tire irons for
for
free.
free.
And then,
And they paid him
I
solid
read an
gold.
article of B. Priestley, why she did not sign with WWE, and it all basically came down to not being able to live in Japan with her boyfriend, who is Will Ospreay, and it kind of took away from her ability to work the independent circuit like she feels like she would want to. She's only working part-time with AEW, so she's still basically doing as she pleases.
Okay,
They have a lot of girls, but why? I don't know why she wouldn't want to sign full time there. But,
I'm not sure.
And then the other thing
She
that
likes
we're-
living in Japan.
She wants
likes
to be with her
working in
boyfriend and not
Japan.
be a wrestler.
Yeah.
The other thing we're looking for in NWA is who is the mark?
Yeah, they're playing this question. It's some weird, like, it shows like space, and then they see like this outline of some guy. It's like, who is the mark? It's like, I guess it's some new character that's coming. The wacky commercials are some of the best parts of NWA.
It's fun.
So I see in the chat. I hope they said my volume might have been a little lower. I did turn up a little bit, so I hope that fixed it. And hey, Carrie Page, Carrie,
he takes good photos.
yeah, Carrie Page is a great photographer. Thank you for joining the chat, Carrie, and you do a great job with taking great shots at some wrestling shows. And thank you for sharing the stream.
Alexis, Ref Matt Green,
Not Ref Matt Green.
yeah,
Billy Trey, the newest member of Handguns. I love it.
who is Jackie Riley?
That's the Murder My Dude. That's his
Wow.
partner.
Yeah,
That's
it was
Jack.
your
Oh,
last week,
I seen Jackie, and I mean, he got Jackie Joke Man.
Yeah, Jackie Joe.
Billy,
I
Billy,
can
you
tell
better be
jokes.
at the wedding on Saturday, Billy.
Anyway, we'll skip that. But anyway, so we're gonna have a debate here real quick. I'm gonna let you guys kind of fill in the chat and see how you guys feel about it. But we have Crown Jewel is coming up, and
What happened?
It happened. It will happen. So if you know what happened with the main event, and the champion, and you do follow our page, we did pose a question of what do you think happens next with the champ. So start getting that ready in the chat, and we'll segue over to you guys and let you get involved a little bit here.
Is this about to be a master debate?
So this is gonna be our last topic before we go into our news. So we're gonna go into Crown Jewel results.
I did not see a lick of it. I actually had to work.
I didn't see any of it.
I had it on like the background while I was working.
And
Yeah.
I don't
So I
want to
didn't really
see any
watch
of it.
it.
So I'll go through it quick. Humberto wins the 20-man battle royal and becomes the #1 contender of the kickoff show.
He wrestled AJ at
Number one contender to what?
for the U.S. title.
US
It was the
title.
same night. He wrestled AJ later.
So then R-Truth defeats Sunil Sai. Sunil Singh, whatever, via pinfall to win the 24/7 7-Eleven Hardcore European Championship.
48-7.
Yeah.
398
That
days.
was during the Battle Royal because he was in the Battle Royal. So basically, what it was is until he got thrown out, you couldn't challenge for the title.
okay.
As soon as he was out, he was fair game. Then R-Truth rolled him up in the aisle to beat him.
So what is that, like the 19th time he's won the
21st, I think, actually.
geez.
Wow.
They're actually making jokes on there, like, how many times has he been champion?
Yeah. So then we got the Brock Lesnar defeating Cain Velasquez in a submission match.
That was the opener.
2 minutes and how many seconds? Like 14 seconds?
It was a worked MMA fight.
What,
Yes.
he put him in the Kimura lock?
Yeah, it was a worked MMA fight. Like, Kane got him down. He was trying to get mount. Brock gets the Kimura, Kane tabs.
Yeah. Now that also happened too because Kane is probably going to need knee surgery.
Yeah.
So they're not going to go out there and make him overwork. It was
And
just to get him out there.
To be fair, Kane's only worked like 3 real professional
Yeah.
wrestling
Yeah.
matches. I wouldn't push
Yeah,
the issue.
it was what it was.
That was probably the best possible scenario for that match.
It was actually a decent wrestling show because, the Tyson Fury thing ran a little long, but that sideshow stuff they kept short for the most part. They kept it kind of isolated,
That's
and the
good.
wrestling itself was pretty
Yeah.
good.
You did say this is probably the better Crown Jewel show that's happened so far.
I think it was just from a pure wrestling standpoint, it was the best Saudi show that they've
Wow.
had so far.
Then Mysterio calls out Lesnar at the end. OC defeats
Mysterio beat the shit out of Lesnar at the end. He wailed on him with a chair.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
OC defeats the Viking Raiders via pinfall to win the Tag Team World Cup. So
Yeah,
that's-
it wasn't just those two. It was a gauntlet match, like those tag team turmoils
Yeah.
where it starts out
Okay,
with 2.
yeah.
And that was the finals. Rude and...
So the Ziggler and Rude defeats Lucha Party. Ziggler and Rude defeat Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Heavy Machinery beat Ziggler and Robert Roode. New Day defeat Heavy Machinery. New Day defeat a B Team. New Day beats the
B-Team.
Revival. OC beats the New Day, and then OC beats.
Now, did they win the match
Raiders.
clean?
I was busy working. I was in and out on that match because I couldn't see. I was mainly more listening.
Now, see
to
if
it
they
than-
beat them
than watching
clean.
it.
I'm I'm not okay with it because they went undefeated for so long with the OC being heels. There had to be something in there.
Yeah, but
I feel
there
like-
has been
yeah.
matches with the Viking Warriors as of lately where they are not superhuman. Like, they are getting worked by teams. Ziggler and Rude gave them a run for their money. So I like the fact that they're making them look like they're human. Like, they're not making them over. Like, that's why they're crushing jobbers, and then they go up against normal guys, and it looks like a legit match.
Yeah, and it feels like that's a program they might be working toward. And when you're doing the best in the world gimmick, the way they do it in WWE, you want that to be a heel. It doesn't work, I don't think, with a baby face.
Yeah.
I just hope they don't get like the announcement when they come in anymore like Shane McMahon did.
No, I don't think we'll get
No,
that.
I don't think so.
Tyson Fury beats Braun Strowman. 24/7 championship. Samir beats R-Truth
I was
again.
gonna say they paid $50 million for that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and it was
a count out.
yeah. Well, it was a count out / knockout where they did some wrestling.
You can't
You
expect
could
much.
you could tell.
I was going to skip over it.
Okay, no, just
Yeah.
just to give the finish.
Yeah.
Braun is out of the ring. He's trying to come back in the ring. As he's on the apron, Tyson Fury hits him with a hook. Braun goes down. He can't get up, and he doesn't answer the 10 count. So
Yeah.
they made
And
it
then
look like
Braun hit him with a power slam and he no-sold the shit out of
he
it.
got
from what I
right
read.
back up.
Yeah.
And because the idea was Braun's gonna give him a power slam. He's gonna walk out like, now what? And Tyson Fury pops up and he's like, "Get back here and fight, you pussy!" So that's basically what happened there.
Horrible. So back in the corner of the
Not worth the
backstage,
money.
R-Truth tries to escape, but runs into a pair of closed doors and knocks himself out cold for the easy 1-2-3 and loses his title back to
Sunil Singh is the
Yeah.
champion again. Yeah.
AJ Styles defeats Humberto to retain his title. Natalia defeats Lacey Evans.
You missed a match. Mansoor beat Cesaro. Very good match.
Really?
That was
very good
It's
match.
not on here.
I
yet.
figured you would have had him on the card anyways.
They brought Man-
he's home.
They brought him out of the closet for his one match a
Yeah,
year.
and then he cut a promo.
Yeah, Natalia defeats Lacey Evans, which is the first ever women's
Yeah.
match in Saudi Arabia. They look like, I was telling him, they look like they were contestants on Legends of
Dare,
the
yeah.
Hidden Temple.
because they're wearing like full body
I still
suits
thought
and
my
they're wearing
comment in the
t-shirts
group chat
over
was
it.
funny.
Yeah.
Real big T-shirts.
Yeah, they were wearing real big T-shirts under body armor
But
suits.
hey, they got the rest.
And then there's a spot in there where Lacey's working either the arm or the leg, and I forget what it was, but she had her down, and she had a thing where she plants and then like does the handstand and then comes down with
Yeah.
a knee. And as she's up in the air, the shirt kind of comes down a
Whoa.
little bit, and it's a very form-fitting pants that she's wearing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh boy, they're gonna get in trouble now.
yeah,
yeah.
That's what I said in the group chat. Oh my God, her shirt tore. We can see an armpit. Stop the match.
Well,
stop the match, killer.
Carmella's armpit caused an
Killer.
international incident. So
Yeah.
yeah.
How?
They got really. There was something where you could see Carmella's armpit on a video or something.
Yeah.
It was a big problem.
Yeah. There was a video you posted too where a guy got really excited for a match and went to bro hug the guy next to him.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god.
And then like, oh my God, they'll
Yeah.
kill us. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, good for them. They got a good match. I did see Natalia got hit with a water bottle as she was walking to the ring.
Really?
Someone chucked a water
Wow.
bottle at her.
But the WWE really tried to make it a big thing. There were huge. There was pyro for their entrances. There was pyro after Natty won.
Yeah.
They kept showing women in the crowd like being really
Oh,
into
that's
it.
good.
Yeah, then the match he said we did miss the other one with Cesaro.
Cesaro.
It's
Cesaro.
not even.
Mansoor
It's
beats
actually
Cesaro.
not even on this list.
It was
oh, there it is. Mansoor defeats Cesaro pinfall. Okay.
It was a very good match. Cesaro's in it, so it's but Mansoor.
Cesaro put him over well.
Yeah, and Mansoor did his part too. But yeah, it was a really good match.
So
We'll see him again next Crown Jewel.
Yep.
I'm trying to see here.
Or back on NXT where he's been.
I love the live watch. My favorite thing was him doing the Morrow impression.
So it looks like Team Hogan beat Team Flair.
Yeah, Roman got the pin. I
Was
don't
that
know
elimination
who.
style?
No, it was just a
Okay.
straight up.
And then we end it with the Universal Champ, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, defeating Seth Rollins.
Yeah, so there's the shocker.
Yeah.
On Halloween, I guess that's a
Yeah, there you go.
nice day for defeating
Well,
the title.
the finish was a complete monster movie finish. It's Falls Count Anywhere. They're fighting up on the stage. Seth does 8 curb stomps, and then they're on the stage, and then there's all these like production like carts there, and there's a table
super kicks
behind
them.
him. He super kicks him. He goes through the table. Fireworks go off. The whole like pyrotechnic thing, flames, and he's in there.
Godzilla.
Yeah, yeah. They might as well have dropped an anvil on him. And then Seth goes down to get him, and he pulls one of the carts because they're stacked like too high on each other. He pulls down one of the carts to go drag him out. As he's standing there, Bray Wyatt just stands up like the horror movie villain, grabs him in the mandible claw, comes out, Sister Abigail on the floor, and 1, 2, 3, it's over.
Now,
I don't like that. The way to kill your finisher.
yeah,
Give us one to give 'em.
after Hell in a Cell happened, there was an announcement on Raw already pretty much saying you're going to see this match at Crown Jewel, and you're
was
also
it announced by WWE or was it announced
Yes.
by the stadium?
It was announced on WWE.
Oh, okay.
And they said you will also get a cage match on Raw after with those two again after Crown Jewel.
Okay.
So to me, when I heard that, once again, I know how people are saying it's just you can't trust them. I agree that they change their minds all the time, but they announced this match was going to happen before Crown Jewel, and they already announced the cage match to follow. That they're going to have a rematch in a cage on Raw, which would be this Raw coming up.
Yeah.
So to me, I was like, oh, the Fiend's going to win at Crown Jewel, and then he's going to drop his title on Monday Night Raw, and then just go back to SmackDown like it never happened. And then they did dark matches, so then people thought that match they had talked about was the dark match, but what the dark matches are, in my eyes, is prep match. They're prepping for that win. And Seth has won clean in every dark match. So I see Seth Rollins is going to beat The Fiend on Monday Night Raw.
He's definitely not going to beat him clean if it happens. It's not going to be a clean finish.
Yeah, so
it would be a heel turn.
I don't know. I would say the Fiend keeps it, and I'm like, well, he has to stay on Raw because he has the Universal title.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it'll be a thing where he's going to be on Raw as long as he's Universal Champion, and then when he loses, he goes back to SmackDown.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what they'll do.
Or maybe they trade even though SmackDown owes them somebody. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Anyway. Maybe
Yeah,
that's the
SmackDown
trade.
owes.
Maybe they finally pay that off.
That would be a hell of a trade. The Fiend for
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
That's worth the 2 picks they
I
spent
can
on
see
them.
like the pervert guy, like what's his name from Family Guy? He's behind the trade. He's like,
Yeah.
Quagmire or the old man?
Quagmire.
Quagmire's worth a note.
all right.
The old man would trade for like Cesaro and
Yeah.
Good trade for Tyler Bate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, Ryan Vox joined the chat. He said Andy's got the guns out. Andy's
Hell yeah.
rocking.
I don't know
Andy's
who
rocking the Roman Reigns vest tonight. He's Halloweening it up. Dave's wearing Wage Warrior shirt.
Wage War. Bam.
Rage War.
I've got my Gold Bloom shirt on.
Yeah, gold
No,
bloom,
Gold Bloom.
gold bloom.
Well,
and
yeah,
I'm rocking
who's
the
so
brand
up
new
next? Yeah.
blue and gold T-shirt.
And you can get that.
You
one.
need to
Just
get this in your
contact
life.
me.
It is a very nice shirt. It's,
There are some small and large, medium black ones left, and blue ones tomorrow.
I like the distressed look too.
So,
on not
so
just the
Tyler,
logo, yeah.
Tyler, I did put in the chat room. If you want to call in, you can, but you never answered or checked your phone. He's saying Ray gets traded for Bray.
That would make a lot of sense. Ray goes to SmackDown.
Oh yeah, Ray's on. I was.
But
And
you
then-
just built up a huge feud with him and Lesnar, and you just get rid of him.
no,
That's
'cause-
why a trade would make sense.
Oh, so he goes there.
Yeah,
Because Brock's on SmackDown.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And Ray's on Raw.
So you finish out that trade. Okay, you have so it winds up being Bliss, Nikki, and Ray for the Fiend. That would be. I think that would
Okay.
work out a lot.
All right.
that makes a little sense.
I still think
That's a
Bray's.
pretty
I
good
think
trade.
I still think Bray's losing the belt. That's just me.
Rather,
Oh, yeah.
rather than them just
Here's
totally
the thing.
forgetting about
I
that.
don't know if Bray would make sense as a long-term champion though. Like,
No.
I don't think he needs it.
I mean,
I don't want him on TV every week.
The only person I could actually see beating him in a distressful manner, unfortunately, would be Brock Lesnar.
Where if they're doing champion versus champion, Survivor Series is coming around.
Ugh.
That would be the main event, or it would be Adam Cole and Bray and
Because they did announce NXT will be part of Survivor Series this year.
Maybe just
Maybe
an NXT
have-
match. I don't want them to touch already. It's only been separated for a month.
yeah. Well, it's too late. Crown Jewel is there was
yeah,
plenty of
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Natty's on Raw and Lacey's on SmackDown.
Never again will these two touch Raw and SmackDown until a month later when it's Survivor Series. Like, why even split the roster then? And then there's idiots. Oh, this is so cool. No, it's not cool.
Yeah. So
I mean, the whole point of splitting the roster was to
Have
focus
two
on the
separate-
shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not put them back together immediately.
Now, are they still doing the conjoined pay-per-views?
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna
I
do
would
split
think so.
pay-per-views.
Yeah.
yeah. So then
Remember
the
when there was a pay per view every 2 weeks? Remember that?
Yep.
yeah.
That was insane.
So then
Too much to keep up on.
Yeah.
we had the Pro Wrestling Illustrated do their top 10 female wrestlers of 2019. Number 1 was Becky Lynch.
Shocking.
Not
Number
really.
2,
Shocker.
Charlotte Flair.
Okay.
Number 3, Ronda Rousey.
No,
Did she wrestle at all in 2019?
barely.
Early on.
Yeah, in March.
She
when
beat
WrestleMania-
Sasha at the
yeah,
Rumble
yeah.
and she wrestled at WrestleMania.
I would move.
I would have her a little lower.
I would
because
have
of
this
that.
person.
We'll
as
go
number-
through the list first.
I would
and
have
then
this person as number 2, Shayna Baszler.
yes.
And what
She
number
would
is
be number 2. She's 4.
Okay.
I would have number 5 at number 3, and that'd be Tessa Blanchard.
What number are we at? You're
She's
confusing me.
5.
She's 5.
Okay.
I would have Charlotte probably at 6, and then put Bailey to 4.
What's Bailey?
Bailey's 6.
Okay, read the list first.
So number 1, Becky Lynch. 2, Charlotte Flair. 3, Ronda Rousey. Shayna Baszler number 4. Tessa Blanchard number 5.
Okay.
Bailey number 6. Natty number 7. Don't
No.
agree with that. She does. Natty, you're amazing, but you're not a top 10 this year. I'm sorry. Io Shirai at number 8. Mercedes Martinez number 9.
Absolutely, she should be higher.
Yep, and Nicole Savoy.
Savoy.
I'm not familiar with her.
I'm
at
not
all.
sure who that is either.
I don't
Pull
think.
Natty out, replace her with Taya Valkyrie.
I would pull Ronda out. I would pull Natty
Yeah,
out.
I wouldn't have Ronda on there.
I would put.
Taya Valkyrie would definitely be one of them.
Shayna probably would be too because she's been women's champion all year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have Lacey in there.
I wouldn't.
I would.
No.
I'd put Lacey in before Natty.
I would. Yeah, I wouldn't have either of them in there.
I would even consider what's her name from another NXT superstar in there, or even like Toni Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony Storm.
I'm trying to think like
I don't
'cause you
understand
gotta look
how-
at it like
Toni
successful,
Storm-
like success in wrestling as in
Yeah.
wins and winning titles.
Like,
and-
is it just for 2019, or is it because if it goes back to like the end of last year, Toni Storm was the Mae Young Classic winner.
Yeah.
She won the NXT UK Women's title. Yeah, she would have made a good kayfabe top 10.
Taya Valkyrie could have made the same excuse. She's the longest reigning Impact Women's Champion right now.
Could have had some
Yeah.
Stardom people in there.
yeah, I would Rhea Ripley. Yeah, start if you had
Rhea
Stardom
Ripley
there,
could have
you
been in
go.
there easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bianca Blair had a great year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she
win-
probably could have been a candidate for at least number 10.
She didn't win many matches, but she had great matches.
Toni Storm was
Who the
UK
hell is
champ,
Nicole
too.
Savoy? Let's go there.
Yeah.
She's a Shimmer person,
Oh,
looks
okay.
like. She's in
Okay.
Shimmer.
We did talk about this a little early before, so I'm going to skip over. But the War Games. So this is we have two more stories here, maybe 3, and then we'll move on and do our topic of the night, Halloween Havoc.
Running a little long.
Are we?
Yes, 153.
All right. Yeah. So we'll fly through this. Jordan Miles has a shirt made.
No offense, but no shirt gets printed without your sign off.
Apparently, he claims. I've listened to the whole thing. Lots of podcasts about this. They said that he's seen a white T-shirt at first.
Yeah.
But he would still kind of know.
Yeah.
Oh, first off, all them NXT T-shirts when they're correct now
Are horrible.
They're all fucking lame.
They're all
terrible.
terrible.
And I would have said no anyway. But like maybe he did have trouble. Maybe he did say that he didn't appreciate it. No one listened till he did that. But like,
Yeah.
maybe that's not the best way to go about it. To tag your boss and everything in it.
Exactly, and
I'm
then
okay.
and then start tagging other African American wrestlers and
Yeah.
calling them names and
That's when it was like, okay, we agree with you with the shirt. Well, let's change.
yeah,
Take it down.
100%. It was
Don't bring Jay Lethal in this. He has nothing to do with it.
Titus chimed in saying you're absolutely right, but leave everybody else out of it.
Yeah,
Right.
he's like, you're doing this with anger. And that's what I'm thinking. And then he was like deleting stuff and post stuff. Like maybe there's some mental health issues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
You
then listen, man. I'm someone who myself back in the day, and probably if I get angry enough, I come out the mouth sometimes, and I'm someone who vents a lot, and when I vent, I feel better after I vent. Maybe he just decided that he did his venting on social media, and then realized, boy, that was stupid. I should have
Yeah.
talked to somebody in confidence first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
May-
he kind of posted an apology, but then he kind of started going again. On the
Yeah,
end
so
of the
then
apology.
maybe he should have went and talked to a Title Stone Needle and said, "Here's how I feel about it, brother."
Yeah, what should I do?
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And
But-
even Booker T got on and started
Yeah.
saying stuff. Then it's like,
But he did then apologize and said everything he said was out of line, and he apologized the whole 9.
You should be lucky he still has a job, to be honest.
Yeah, 15 years of the Miz, great career so far.
Everybody thought he wasn't going to make
Yeah.
it 6 months, and now he's one of
Hey,
probably the best workers.
I
made a-
wouldn't say that, but he's been there for 15 years.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been hurt.
He's
Yeah.
found his niche. He's made a
Yeah.
shitload of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for
You
him.
can't really say that though. I mean, I'm personally a Miz fan. I like when he comes out, he puts on a solid match every night.
Okay, here we go.
Boy, did he get tanked in that Shane
What-
McMahon feud though.
What's your favorite Miz match?
That 4-way IC title match with well, here it is, him, Cesaro.
I'll pull the Conrad thing. What's your favorite Miz match?
I thought that match against Shane McMahon in WrestleMania
He's
was
not
pretty
bad.
fun,
He
too.
doesn't suck.
So when it
but
comes,
he's
solid.
So
Yeah,
for
a
me,
solid wrestler.
it's not so
I
much
wouldn't-
my favorite Miz match.
Yeah.
but I like Miz feuds.
okay.
I think he has very good feuds. He may not go out and put a 4-star match on, but the build up to the matches and then the match is good enough to get by. But then the feuds during it, like Miz can carry a long
He's a
time
good
story.
character.
out.
I think the best thing he ever did was the feud with John Cena and Nikki Bella. And
yeah, it was
Jericho.
hilarious.
I think in
The
that,
feud with Jericho.
The Jericho feud was good. The Kevin Owens feud
I
was
don't
good.
remember the Jericho one
and,
at all.
And the feud with Daniel Bryan was
yeah,
good.
well, the feud with Daniel Bryan was good when Daniel Bryan couldn't wrestle. That
Yeah.
was the problem.
Yeah.
But I do think when they first did that split in 2016, when they brought SmackDown the USA and made it SmackDown Live, I think that for a little bit there, Miz, and beside maybe AJ Styles.
I hate to cut you off real quick, but Andy Weinberg. Andy the winning Weinberg in the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
He says Matt Hardy in the house. Like, come on.
he says, my mother's basement looks amazing, and you are correct, mister. And he said, Matt Hardy in the house.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy, I took your advice. I slimmed down a little bit. I don't know about Tony.
I'm down 10 pounds, but I'm still I'm trying to get in that winner's circle.
Fat boys in your mother's basement.
Yeah, we got to get you back on the show to call in. We're doing weekly spotlights, so if you want to call in and we can pick your brain a little about how you got in the business and stuff, that'd be an amazing interview.
I also read Andy's article that he posted on his Facebook page, and it couldn't have been truer. I actually appreciate everything he said there because he hit pro wrestling on the head.
Yeah, where people say it's fake, and he said you go out and like try to do what they do. It's definitely not fake. Like, yeah, it may be a predetermined match, but what they're doing in between those ropes is definitely not fake.
I mean, you can't fake a bump. You can't fake getting hit with a foreign object.
Like JR said, how do you fake or how do you stage land on a chair or a ladder or the floor? It's like,
you
it's
don't.
true.
It hurts like shit.
Yeah.
And I've never even done it.
Well, let's ask you, Andy. What's the worst thing you've ever landed on?
Oh my god,
That ladder match didn't look fun.
the floor.
That's not called Legos.
I never did Legos actually. The concrete floor is the worst.
Yeah.
I'd rather get slammed on a ramp or a ladder than the floor.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I cut your train. Was there anything else?
Oh no, I was just saying, like in that later part of 2016, the Miz was up there with the best heels in WWE.
A great talker.
I mean, when the Miz was dressing like the Hokage from Naruto.
I'll say that.
So,
a great talker.
This is going to be our last topic of the night, and then we're going to cut over to the YouTube stream and end the Facebook stream. We gave you pretty much the entire show except the topic of the night. So if you want to watch the topic of the night, you can go back and check it out on audio on Spotify, or you can go over to our YouTube account. And please help us with that like and subscribe, as well as sharing this page to your friends and letting people know about it. And once again, we'll put it out there. Anyone in the business, wrestler, worker, anything you've done, promoter, anything. I mean, we had Vox on before. We had Andy on it.
Yeah.
We had Vox and Andy on before, but not in the same format as we're starting to do now, where we're kind of diving in and kind of doing a small little interview as we're going. But anyone that wants to call in, definitely send us a message. We'll get you on the show.
And definitely Vox and Andy, if you guys ever want to call in again, please. We do enjoy picking your brains here.
Yeah.
Like, you guys have more than enough knowledge to influence us on this show.
And if you didn't see the beginning of the show, we had Desean Pratt on, which was an awesome interview. That guy's been doing a lot of cool stuff, and he's still doing it. A very good story. He was one of the first viral wrestling videos at one point in time. 1.1 million views is up to you right now. The most illegal thing in wrestling. If you want to go check it out. But the last thing we want to talk about is Andy Header here. We're gonna put Andy over.
Hi.
So Andy, you were in a tag team tournament at Backbreakers Entertainment.
That was last Saturday.
Last Saturday. How'd it go?
For the first tag team championship ever.
I seen you wrestled 3 matches in one night.
Yes, I had one on Friday night too when I wrestled Facade. That was pretty
Oh, you
good.
beat Facade?
No, I did not beat him.
Oh.
He beat me with a springboard cutter. It was a
Okay.
good match though, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I wish I would've seen
That was
that.
at Club Reverb, and it's a cool place. So if ACW runs there again, which they will, shocker.
First time Andy's been behind the curtain instead of in front of it down there.
behind the stage and seeing how all the backstage and everything of
Yeah.
Club Reverb. So that was pretty cool. So it was a good time.
Now, is that the most you've ever wrestled in one weekend? Is
I think
4 matches?
four.
Or did you do another one on Sunday?
I had 3 one time, but that was Friday, Saturday,
Did
Sunday.
Did you wrestle Sunday
No,
too?
I didn't know.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
wrestle Sunday. I probably could have though. I felt good. I felt good.
Yeah?
Like even though
Has he been going to the gym helping out?
I think so. Maybe
I wouldn't know.
but not so much. Not so much with cardio because I've had that. So
Yeah. Getting stronger?
I don't know. I
Getting
think
that band workout?
Yeah, I think, but like I'm not like look at me.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we wrestled the Sambo show first, and I got to show you. Lobo showed me a couple things on his shirt. He goes, "Look at all the Easter eggs."
Yeah.
And I started pointing them all out. I don't know
We
if
went
you-
over them with him a little bit at the
I was like,
PPW
"Oh
show.
shit!"
Yeah, I love the Sambo show.
Yeah, so
Great
we
guys.
wrestled
Should
that.
check them out.
That was the first match of the show. Me, Bloom Gold versus Sambo show. That was a good match, and we beat him. We double tapped him out. I believe I had Sam Adams in the crypto crossface, and I turned into the Rings of Saturn, and he was reaching Lobo's arm, and I forget what Drew had him in some kind of or Matt Turner, I should say.
Matt Turner.
Yeah, had him in some kind of submission, and they're reaching, and they were like, oh, and that's when we got the Rings of Saturn, and they tapped out, double tap out. So, and then they actually wrestled twice. They went to the PPW show that was in Honesdale. Then,
Wow.
Oh,
I think
right.
they wrestled the main event. I don't know how that went though.
Yeah. I think main event retained.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we wrestled in the second round. I guess you could say it was Crossaid, and that's what's Aaron Roxas and Danny Infuego. They're 2 of the Backbreakers trainees guys, and they're both pretty good. So
Is that the baseball hockey player?
No. That's Molly. what's her name? Molly McCoy and
Boomer Hatfield.
Boomer Hatfield.
Okay.
Yeah, they wrestled Diamond City War Machine.
They are
the first
Chikara
match.
people.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't get to see the match, but I heard it was pretty good. And then Stepdads wrestled
Stepdads are great.
somebody. Yeah.
Stepdads
They
are great.
lost the first round though.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we wrestled Cross-Aid, and then we beat them with the Spike Brainbuster off the top rope, and then I picked up a game of the Kryptonite Crunch. So
Nice.
And
I
then
think I
we don't
picked
need to
Danny.
worry about what happened.
Yeah. And then no, we were in the main event with Diamond City War Machine, and we did not win the titles, but it was a good match. It was a long match.
Well, we had Brad on.
Yeah, we're right on.
So
he's now the tag team champions.
He did say how
First-
much this belt meant to him, and
Yeah.
it looked like you guys had a really good moment afterwards.
Yeah.
And then you guys called out Rock and Roll Express.
How about that? Yeah. So hey, you never know what can happen.
Don't start something you
Yeah.
can't finish,
Yeah.
Andy.
You never know what would happen.
That would be
Love to
amazing.
wrestle rock and roll.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, during that match, I said to Eric, because Eric's Brad's tag partner, I'm like, we were outside. I was like, push me into the pole, And man, did I hit that pole pretty hard.
Yeah.
It was hurt the next day. I was like, whoa, oh my God.
Why did I do
There
that?
was some good stuff, though. I was that the match? No. Oh, that was a Facade. I gave him the Rana. So going back to that, so I told Facade, I'll do the top rope Frankensteiner, right? And we're up at the top rope, and he's sitting there, and he starts to stand up, and I'm like, I guess we're doing this one. And we're supposed to stand. I'm like, well, here it is. I was like, first time for us I had that. So
How'd that feel?
Yeah,
the
super
double
Frankensteiner.
the double standing on the top rope.
Yeah,
Frankenstein.
yeah. I was like, well, that's what we're doing.
You're on camera, Heidi, already, so you might as well just come in.
God.
Yep.
I'll take that.
So anyway, but it was cool. I did that. That was fun. But
Andy's got lovin's.
Go ahead. Luigi's Mansion. What if she got you the wrong game? What if it was like, here's
Mario was missing.
some golf game or something?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, God.
real quick, because you're better at this than me. We're gonna break curtain here. Sorry, everyone. We had a quick run in. Heidi ran in.
It's a girl's baby doll. It's a real small.
I don't know how we
I don't
can.
think it'll fit you.
Yeah, can you see if we can send that back and get the right size? It's like a kid's. It's like, I don't even think they made kids Steel Panther shirts.
It's a girl.
I just put medium and I got like a kid's medium.
It's like a women's medium baby
They
doll.
sold
so.
a kids medium Sex Panther or Sex Machine shirt.
You got to remember that's the size Steel Panther wears. They wear that size.
All right. Yeah, so I have
It's
to
tiny.
get that figured out. All right, so anyway,
It was a good time, and then Diamond City War Machine is the first ever tag team champions.
awesome. Well, congratulations to them. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Brad, for calling in the
Yeah.
previous week, and also Trajan Horn. Maybe we were good luck. Maybe we were good luck. The show was good
Yeah.
luck, and he got to
Yeah.
win the show. He
Say
got to
hi
win
to
the
everybody, Heidi.
Yeah. But thank you, like what's that? And Backbreakers Entertainment, you guys did a great job sharing the page and putting
Oh
us
yeah,
over.
definitely. Yeah, Justin Glory, the main, the head trainer, and
Yeah.
owner. So we'll have more people calling from there. Too.
Well, the good news is this is my last Saturday to work.
Oh,
I am now
that's
off
great.
Saturdays.
Yeah.
So you will
I know
definitely.
you're cool with your boss, but did you have to do something extra to get that?
No, I did not. It was the only problem I had to do is I have to work now until 8:00 at night, Monday through Friday.
Oh,
What's wrong with
well,
that?
That sucks. That's a long day. But I'm making a sacrifice because I want Saturdays off so I can go to more shows and we can bring this to more shows and get more content.
When do you
and-
start?
So wait, are you
11?
off Friday, Saturday, or
11:30
Saturday,
to-
Sunday?
I'm off. My work Monday through Friday, off Saturday, Sunday.
There you go.
Yeah. So I can, and then I start. So if like Sunday pay-per-views, I can sleep in because I don't have to be at work till 11:30.
Oh,
I work 11:30 to 8 now.
Yeah. Okay.
So it works out. So we'll get a chance to go to more wrestling shows and see some cool stuff. So you'll see us at a lot more stuff, and then we could do stuff for the other shows as well. But
Are we doing our plugs now, or are we gonna wait?
Nope, we're gonna cut here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, the consistent viewers. Please do us a favor, share this page.
Know your role, Heidi.
Yeah, I told her. I told her to. If I can't tell her to get in the kitchen because she's already here, but she did pick me up a video game. I don't know if that's cool or not, Andy. And that's kind of a loser move, but well, it's worth it. Andy Weinberg, the Fruit Loop guy.
Oh boy, this is gonna be good. I
Yeah.
can't imagine what he's gonna say.
It's the only way she remembers him, probably. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that share button. Let people know that we're here. Like I said, once again, spread the word as well. If you're in the business and you want to call in, we're open for anybody. We had a guest for next week calling in, and a guest the following week. We're gonna end it here on Facebook. You can go check us out. The audio will be out tonight, a little after midnight, and the video will be up tomorrow at 12 o'clock p.m. So,
you see us at a show, come get some of our new gear.
yeah, like I said, we got the new pins, and in the links below is our merch page. It helps us get new equipment so we can do cooler stuff. So go buy some merch, help us out, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for tuning in, and spread the word. We love you guys. All right, now we got rid of those guys.
Fuck those guys.
All right,
Shit on them.
so
Literally. Oh wait.
we are running long here. We're at the 2-hour mark. So
Wasn't last week's show almost 3?
The
That's
last
all right.
couple of shows have been pretty long.
Yeah, but that's good. I think we have a good flow, though. We're not really, you know what I mean? Maybe we'll cut more of the stuff throughout the week.
Maybe limit the interview unless it's going real well. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, today's interview did go very well.
Yeah.
I thought that interview was awesome.
Yeah.
I would say maybe, I don't think we should cover like every single thing that happened on.
No, I think everybody should just say, what did you like from Raw, SmackDown?
Yeah,
NWA
that's what we're
Power?
going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with it being All Hallows Eve and most of us having a day with Nosferatu, we're going to cover Halloween Havoc.
Now, I can do nothing for this conversation.
Really?
I've never seen a
For
Halloween
once,
Havoc.
me and Brian get the shine.
Wow, how
Andy
about
too.
that?
I've never seen a
I've
Halloween
seen
Havoc.
them all.
The only thing about Halloween Havoc that I can personally say,
Uh-huh.
it was my favorite arena to pick.
Oh, and
In the video games.
Yeah.
'Cause it looked cool.
You got to remember when Halloween Havoc actually came around, for the first couple of years, it bounced back and forth between 3 arenas, and then the last 5, I believe
in
it was,
Vegas, yeah.
they all ended in the same arena.
And they were saying that was like WCW's biggest show possibly like of
Yeah.
all year.
Super Brawl,
Yeah,
Starcade.
yeah.
I always thought
Bash the Beach were like the big 4.
Yeah, I always
Great
thought
American
their
Bash was pretty big.
arenas
Yeah.
look good. Like Bash at the Beach looked like a beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bash at the Beach was probably one of the better ones because they literally tried to get it on the beach or as close to a beach as possible.
the one year they did do it on the
Yeah,
beach
yeah.
when they did Hogan and Vader in the cage, like 95, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was like 80-some degrees that night, too. Hogan was sweating his ass off. He didn't have to, like, wash himself up for the match.
All right, so let's get into it. Halloween Havoc.
So, the first ever Halloween Havoc from
88?
the 89
89.
from the Philadelphia Civic Center
Oh.
in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
It's
October 28th,
Is this the one with the Tony
1989.
Schiavone like creepy?
No,
oh,
that was way later. This is when it was. I think Turner had already bought in, or no, I don't even think
No,
so.
no,
I think this
it was
still
still
Crockett.
NWA.
Yeah, there's still the NWA for the first 2, but
Oh, this is the one on the network. It's in that like small square and it doesn't really work too well.
then with this one, I think it's okay. This is literally the first show I ever watched on the WWE Network.
Wow, how about that?
when it first came out. So it's at the Civic Center, October 28th, 1989, and your first match ever in Halloween Havoc, fitting considering who won the Universal title tonight. The first match ever, Tom Zink defeats Mike Rotunda.
The Z-Man versus IRS.
All right. And Tony, we're going to test you here. Why is that significant?
IRS is Bray Wyatt's dad.
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And who is Tom Zink?
No idea.
Well, he's dead now.
He's dead.
He's a good-looking man. That's what Tony Schiavone
Yeah.
says.
He was a good looking.
Tom Zink.
I mean, the first
Tom
2 years of
Zink.
Halloween Havoc wasn't exactly memorable, but the main event of the very first Halloween Havoc was Sting and Ric Flair and Sting versus the Great Muta and Terry Funk in a Thunderdome match with
Now,
Bruno
Gary,
San Martino as the special guest
I
referee.
may have seen a Halloween Havoc match. I don't know if it was Halloween Havoc. I seen Vampiro fight Sting in a graveyard.
I don't think that was on Nitro.
That
I
was
think.
on
Yeah.
Nitro.
So
There
never
was a few Vampiro matches, but nothing that significant.
Yeah, well, near the end,
And
we'll
that-
have to talk about those.
And that
Halloween Havocs.
Thunderdome match, that was a weird one. It's in a cage. It's supposed to be an electrified cage. Everybody just ignores that, except for Muda, who goes up and goes,
Yeah.
like, oh, it's electrified. Nobody else really bothered. to
Everybody else
sell
kind
it.
of bumped off and
He
said,
didn't, get,
"Nah."
he didn't get the memo.
Well, and it was inside a cage, and they both had seconds, or like managers, and it was one of those things where you had to win by throwing in the towel. And Gary Hart is in the corner of Muda and Funk, and Ole Anderson is in the corner of Flair and Sting.
Flair and Sting.
And the finish is that Ole hits Gary Hart while the ref's not or Bruno's not looking. The towel flies in the ring and like, you threw in the towel.
Oh, threw in the towel.
And I think we brought this up after the show once. I think you might have been gone already, Dave, or it might have been a week you weren't here. But I remember talking to you about it, Andy. When they're bringing the cage down, they have all this like jungle stuff and ropes and all these burlap bags at the top, and they're shooting off fireworks. And one of the bags or something on the cage catches fire. And there's a fire on the cage, and Muda tries to put it out with his mist. He tries to miss the,
By the way, that Facebook thing had 117 views.
all right.
That one. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
really good.
And then elsewhere on the show, just a few highlights. For the NWA Tag Team titles, the Freebirds beat the Dynamic Dudes, Johnny Ace and Shane Douglas.
Oh, boy.
Shane Douglas would have better days in Philadelphia later on. And
Johnny
then,
Ace definitely had some better days.
the Dynamic Dudes got booed to hell, even though they're the baby faces there. And the other big tag match there is the Steiner brothers lost to a relatively new team at the time, Doom
Ooh,
with
Doom.
Woman when they were still wearing the masks.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Reed. Oh, that's when they were Doom 1 and 2, I believe.
Doom 1 and Doom 2, yeah.
Let's move
lame.
into 1991, which had one of the more iconic Halloween Havoc.
real quick.
What
quick.
about 90?
90 was at the USC Pavilion in Chicago. They had the red mats. Stan Hansen beat Lex Luger to win the U.S. title that night.
The NWA United States
Yeah,
Championship.
the NWA United
Yeah.
States title. The Steiners keep the tag titles, beating the Nasty Boys. Very, very quick spot for them in
Nasty.
the NWA.
Was Jesse Ventura on commentary? Or was that 91?
No, that was 92,
92.
I think. Yeah.
And
That's
if
when
you
they started
see
wearing
Scott
costumes.
Steiner in those matches, yes, that is the same Scott Steiner.
And then the main event, Sting beats Sid Vicious to retain the NWA title. But before he does, Sid Vicious actually does get a pinfall. But they fought to the back, and then they came out. And Sting didn't really do a whole lot, and then he got pinned. But then you see Sting run out from the back. It's the original fake Sting angle.
Oh, yeah.
Because he pinned Barry Windham dressed as Sting.
Yeah, but he looked like Sting.
Yeah, he had the hair all done
'Cause,
up
you
and
know, this is
everything.
before HD. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we go to 91.
That
Go ahead,
was a
Dave.
very reoccurring thing with fake Sting.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the more iconic matches from Halloween Havoc, we had the Chamber of Horrors match.
Oh no.
It's something you'll remember, but it's something you laugh about at the same time.
I'm pretty sure it might be the same cage from the first one, and they used it a couple times where they had it was like a big cage, big bars like the Hogan cage,
Yeah.
but they're like thinner,
And
and,
they were
it would curve at the
flip-
top.
yeah.
So imagine a war game style cage with an electric
Well,
chair dropping down in the middle of the ring.
Not even war games, more like it was more of a Hell in a Cell style cage because you could go outside.
Yeah.
There was room to wrestle outside too, and yeah, eventually it's not an electric chair; it's the chair of torture.
Yeah, come on.
And it comes down, and
The only way to win the match is to set your opponent in the chair and flip the switch.
they fucked it up because Cactus Jack is standing on the
on the
apron.
cage,
Yeah.
banging people like, yeah, we're about to do this.
And the off position on this lever, like you have to flip the switch,
Yeah.
but the off position is at the top, and you have to push it down to turn it on, and it kept falling.
Yeah.
It just kept falling down. So Cactus is on the cage, literally just holding it up,
Yeah.
while Abdullah and Rick Steiner are wrestling. Finally, Rick belly to bellies Abdullah into the thing.
straps him in.
Straps
him
Cactus
in.
Jack still not paying attention.
the shittiest belly to belly, too.
Pulls the switch, and Abdullah does one of the fakest "I'm getting electrocuted" thing
Just
I've ever seen.
vibrates.
Looks like a fat guy just bouncing up and down in a chair.
As the lights dim and the fireworks go off.
Well, that's dangerous in itself, bouncing a chair when you're a fat
But
guy.
even that match was good for the people in it. We had El Gigante, Sting, and
Oh.
the Steiner brothers against Abdullah, the Diamond Stud, Cactus Jack, and Big Van Vader.
Yeah.
And who is the Diamond Stud? Razor Ramon.
There you go.
Scott Hall.
And then again, the ring gets set on fire because the fireworks going off in the chair.
That's WCW, right?
Yeah. And then they had a bunch
If
of
something's not on fire, they're not doing it right.
and then a bunch of ghouls came in, and Abdullah just beat them up when they tried to get him out of there.
Another memorable thing from 1991, which made it a good year, was Brian Pillman became the inaugural light heavyweight champion.
Beating Richard Morton,
Oh,
not
Richard,
Ricky Morton.
because
Richard.
of the what was the
He
name
was
of
a
it?
suit at the time.
the
I
York
believe.
Foundation.
Yes.
And everybody had their full names. It was Richard Morton, Thomas Rich,
And the computerized man of the '90s,
Terrence Taylor, yeah.
Who was the manager?
Alexandra York.
Yeah,
That's it.
Marlena.
Terry Reynolds, yeah,
Yeah.
Marlena.
And then the main event of the evening, we had Lex Luger defeating Ron Simmons to retain the NWA World Title.
2 out of 3 falls match. And one other thing that happened here notable is that during the show, the WCW Halloween Phantom beat Tom Zink, and later unmasked as Rick Rude. And that was the very beginning of the Dangerous Alliance. Like a couple weeks later, he wins the U.S. title from Sting, and the Dangerous Alliance is in full swing.
91 was a very good year for that event. I think that's when they really started to get.
Halloween.
Yeah.
It started getting fun.
So the commentators wear costumes and stuff.
But then we move
Yeah.
into 1992, which brought
And-
on Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal.
And I think 92 is the one where they had Shivani at the
Yeah.
houses. Did you see they redid it on AEW?
No.
Yeah, they had people going trick or treating at his house. And he's
Oh,
dressed
that's
up.
awesome.
It's on their Twitter. Yeah, they did it like
And
a
he does
reshoot
like
of
the
it.
creepiest, like
Yeah. And 92, it's October 25th, once again at the Philadelphia Civic Center. It's the last Halloween Havoc there, and the second to last pay-per-view.
Do you think AEW brings back Halloween Havoc?
if they can get
it's
the
already
rights,
trademarked by somebody
Yeah.
else. After 2005, it was legally declared a dead trademark, and somebody else actually bought the phrase Halloween
I
Havoc.
think if Cody can get his hands
if-
on
if
it,
he
'cause
can,
he was
maybe.
trying to get Great American Bash and something else.
he was
too.
trying to get up
Starcade, Great American Bash. and-
anything that Dusty came up with, he was trying to get a
got
hold of.
something. I forget. got one of them.
Because Dusty
Was War
named
Games
a lot.
Dusty's?
Yes.
Yes.
War Games was originally Dusty Rhodes' full idea.
And then the MLW had a trademark, and then I don't know. I think they share it with WWE or something like that.
I think they sold it to WWE or something because
Okay.
they just had something like that and they called it like the War Riot or the War
Okay,
Chamber. So in '92, this is the only Halloween Havoc during Bill Watts' time in charge of WCW. On the bottom of the card, they had the NWA title match because that was when they brought the NWA titles back. And Rick Rude beat reigning champion Masahiro Chono by DQ.
Wow.
And then you had also Ron Simmons was the WCW champion at the time. He beat the Barbarian.
And then we had something that Tony can relate to.
Make the deal.
The Coal Miners Glove match, which was a one-off match between Jake the Snake Roberts and Sting.
Well, let's just explain what spin the wheel make the deal was. Sting had to spin this big wheel. He pulled a lever, and the wheel spun, and it had a bunch of different
God.
and it had a bunch of different gimmick matches on it. And it landed on Coal Miner's Glove because I think Bill Watts. This is all these.
Now,
the
mind you,
story,
this Coal Miner's Glove is like an old medieval gauntlet all scuffed up in coal dirt.
and covered in chains. And
yeah,
stuff.
because your hand would get crushed by coal.
Right.
So there's metal in it. So it's an Iron Man.
So if you get hit with the glove,
Yeah.
then it's going to hurt.
Now-
And I think they always say Bill Watts didn't gimmick the wheel and it just landed on that.
Yeah.
And that's why they had a
I was
Coal
gonna
Miner's
say,
It
Glove.
was about a 15-minute match, and it was a pretty good match. Sting climbs up the turnbuckle, grabs the glove, and of course, you know what Jake does. Sting's got the glove, and Jake's got the snake.
Yeah, and then the snake turns on Jake, which means Jake held it up to his arm and tried to get it to bite
Yeah.
himself.
Well, it didn't bite him in the arm. That was the crazy part. But Sting hit Jake with the glove. Jake fell down, and the Cobra's like, "Oh shit!" Bites him in the face.
Yeah, that's right.
What? Was it a cobra or was it a python?
It was a cobra.
Cobra.
The cobra bit Jake in the face, and it's not letting go. And Jake's legitimately trying to get the cobra off his face.
Oh my
And
god!
then that was kind of it for Jake in WCW.
I
after
would
that.
have
Yeah.
bawled my eyes out. Anytime that snake
But
came
like
out.
he had it here, like expecting it to bite him in the arm. Sting turns around and thinking, "All right, the snake's bit him. I gotta hit him." Turns around, hits him, and next thing you know, you see the cobra like right here on his chin. It's like shit.
I don't care how much you told me it's devenomized. I would not want to get.
Me either.
I got to paintbrush the hell out of it.
Yeah. But that moved into.
I'll tell you what, I'm not going to get bit by that snake until you get bit by that fucking snake.
You want to play 21? I got 22.
But moving into '93, they brought back Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal, which was rare for WCW. Usually, they don't
Yeah.
like to go back to the same wheelhouse twice.
And this time it's the champion Vader against Cactus Jack.
Yeah.
Back from his Lost in Cleveland days.
In a Texas
He had
death match.
amnesia. Yeah.
I think this time they did work the wheel.
The wheel actually hit the mark this time.
And this is the first Halloween Havoc under Bischoff, even though it's not quite Hogan-era yet. Before that, you had in the TV title match, you had Lord Steven Regal and Davey Boy Smith in a 15-minute draw. That was Regal's thing. He would always do 15-minute draws.
And
as the
man
TV
can wrestle.
champion.
I never had a bad match watching Steven Regal.
And then here's a title from the past. You had Rick Rude beating Ric Flair to retain the WCW International title.
By
which was-
disqualification.
yeah, and that was the big gold belt, but they called it the International title because they brought back the NWA title the year before. It was with Chono. Then Chono lost it to Muda. Muda lost it to Wyndham. Wyndham lost it to Flair. And a few months before this, said Beach Blast, or Bash the Beach, I don't know if they changed the name yet. Flair lost it to Rick Rude, and the NWA didn't approve that title change.
Yeah.
So they pulled themselves out of WCW, and that's when is that when Shane Douglas wound up with it, I think?
I think so, yeah.
And then he dropped it, and then they wound up with Dan Severn. But that was when they stripped it of the NWA name, so they just started calling it the International title, and then finally just the World
Because
title.
they owned the physical belt.
Yeah.
And they had 2 world titles for that time.
But Texas Death Match, it was definitely one of the better matches on Halloween Havoc to remember, and you had Big Van Vader taking down Cactus Jack in that one.
And yet Vader retains. 94 from the Joe Louis Arena, Detroit, Michigan.
One of the few memorable matches that pops up on everybody's Halloween Havocs is the main event.
Yeah, it's Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair in a cage for the title. Loser leaves town.
yeah.
And,
With a special guest referee. Who is our referee?
Mr. T.
I paid the fool that don't know who the referee is.
Sherry did a lot in this match. She was jumping off.
Sherry was
and everything.
very involved in this
Sherry
match.
is a trooper. She jumped off the cage with a flying body press in her underwear.
Yeah.
She's literally in like what would be considered lingerie
Yeah.
sleep attire,
Like a
hitting
teddy,
a
basically,
cross
yeah.
body off the top of this cage, and then handcuffing Mr. T to the bottom rope.
And then Hogan wins because it's Hogan. Flair's
After he hits the leg drop and then drags Flair's
Hogan
lifeless
must
carcass
pose,
over
brother.
to Mr. T handcuffed to the rope.
Well, before Hogan can pose, the masked man that was attacking him well
Yeah.
before this all happened for the
months
last couple
now.
of months comes in, but Hogan catches him and he unmasks him.
Brother Bruda.
Yeah, his lifelong friend has turned his back on him.
And now he's the butcher, and that leads to a really lame main event the next month.
Elsewhere on the show, you had Dave Sullivan beating Kevin Sullivan by
Oh,
countout.
Dave
Dave Sullivan.
Sullivan.
And U.S. champion
Yeah,
Hacksaw
it's
Jim
not out
Duggan beat Steve Austin for the to retain the U.S. title. The show before this, he beat Steve Austin in I think 27 seconds to win the title.
Wow.
Could you imagine?
Moving on to 95.
They're back in Detroit in 95.
Now, this
Joe
was
Louis.
probably one of my favorite gimmicks in 95.
no.
This is one of my favorite gimmicks just because of how it played out.
And this is the first Halloween Havoc of the Nitro era. Before your gimmick, one of the big things here is it's the very beginning of the Horseman coming back. Ric
The new
Flair-
Horseman.
Yeah, Ric Flair had been a babyface very briefly. He convinced Sting to join him because he's like, I swear I need your help here because Arn Anderson and Brian Pillman had been just making Ric Flair's life a living hell. So they do a tag match. Flair's jumped in the back. And so it's just basically a handicap match, Sting against Pillman and Anderson for a little while until Flair comes out. He's going to fight it out anyway. And he makes the hot tag. Sting makes the hot tag to Flair.
And
Who
they turn on Sting.
beats the hell out of Sting. And here come the Horsemen. And later on, very soon after that, Chris Benoit would join up with
Oh,
them.
shit. It's Mongo.
Never mind that shit. But what you're talking about, Dave,
Yeah,
go ahead. I'll
getting
let you take
into
this.
the big night before. This actually happened the night before, and they just played it on the pay-per-view. But we had the Giant versus Hulk Hogan in the Monster Truck Sumo match.
On the top of Cobo Hall nearby.
Now,
Is that when he falls off the building?
yes.
Yep.
Now
died.
they get out of the trucks. They start fighting. Hogan and the Giant fight towards the edge of the building. Hogan gives him the big right. The Giant does the whoa off the side. He tries to reach out and grab him, doesn't grab him in time.
And
And then the
he
next
died.
night on what was the pay-per-view, he's issuing an apology to his family. He's sorry he didn't know that happened.
Yeah.
And then the music hits and out comes the Taskmaster with the Giant. They're claiming the Taskmaster had resurrected the Giant.
I heard a legend, I don't know if this is true, that he was supposed to come out with like a fish in his singlet.
Yeah. Like he fell in the water.
But yeah, and that match ended up in a disqualification because the Taskmaster called in the Yeti, and the
Yeti.
Giant and Hulk Hogan literally hugged each other around Hulk Hogan and crushed him.
And humped him. But
And also at that time, Jimmy Hart turned on Hogan.
Yes.
And they actually, the Giant won the world title because Jimmy Hart was Hogan's manager.
Yeah, there you go.
and joined the Dungeon of Doom.
Jimmy Hart was Hogan's manager, and he said he wrote into the contract that it was a title match. But J.J. Dillon was still in WWF at the time. Whoever was the authority figure at this point held up the title for World War III, which was the next pay-per-view. And whoever won that battle royal was going to be the champion.
It
won
was,
Yeah, but the title
it was
can't
Nick
change
Bockwinkel.
hands.
Oh, yeah, Bockwinkel. I love Bockwinkel.
How can the title change hands though in a disqualification?
Because it was written into the contract because Hogan's manager was Jimmy Hart and he was turning on him,
Yeah.
so he snuck it into the contract that Hogan could lose the title by DQ.
Oh.
And then it wound up being up for World War III, and Randy Savage won it anyway. 96.
One of the better matches to ever start the
Yes.
Cruiserweight division in 96.
And this is now dubbed Slim Jim's Halloween Havoc, and this
Yeah.
is for the rest
Slim Jim Halloween.
Yeah, because
For the
the
rest-
polls were
for the rest of the time. For the rest of the time, it is going to be in Vegas, Paradise, Nevada,
Yeah.
the MGM
Then,
brand.
and Snickers too.
That's when Macho Man showed up and he literally had Slim Jims. He was chucking
Yep.
Slim Jims into the crowd. And
So this is going to be the first time that the Cruiserweight title is ever defended at Halloween Havoc. Malenko and Ray.
that was a 20-minute clinic.
And that's Phantom Ray, right? When he's
No,
first
that was
out.
No,
that
no,
was
that's
next, that was next
97.
year.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
Malenko wins to win the Cruiserweight title, and then your main event, and this is prime NWO time. Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, beats Randy Savage to retain the title. It was when Hogan came out with the
the
wig he
hairpiece,
wore
yeah.
in Three Ninjas. Yeah, he had the hairpiece.
That was pretty cool that he
With
did
Miss
that.
Elizabeth in a neutral corner.
Again, yeah.
Yeah, and
Just
her
like
sexy
WrestleMania.
NWO
She would not
dress.
pick between the powers.
And then after the match, after Hogan wins, Roddy Piper
Shows
makes
up.
his WCW debut.
You think you're an icon? I'm the real
And Hogan looked starstruck too when Piper
Yeah.
came in. I was like, not you.
It's like, I don't represent the WCW,
Yeah.
the NWA,
Oh no!
the SPCA.
Yeah, yes.
So then now we're getting to probably the best match.
This
in
is
Halloween
probably
Havoc
the
history.
match you want to go to the network and watch.
You don't want to watch Tom Zink and what's his name?
It's 1997, and
I
that
don't
match
know.
is Mongo McMichael against Alex Wright.
Yeah,
is the match you want to watch.
You want to watch that one?
The match
I
we
wanna
are
see-
talking
I
about
wanna
is the
see
match.
Jake the Snake get bit in the face by a snake.
And you also want to see Dave Sullivan.
This is the match I have dubbed the
bad.
13-minute masterpiece. This was Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio for the Cruiserweight title, and it was title versus mask.
God, Eddie Guerrero was unbelievable.
Yeah, this
He
match
was.
is- what
Th-
they-
this was Ray was dressed like the Phantom. The movie
Yeah,
just
that was
came
it.
out
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, this is one of the best WCW matches.
It is
Of
up
all
there.
time.
It is up there.
easily. And it was literally a 13-minute masterpiece with Ray winning the Cruiserweight title and keeping his match. And that's when his friendship with Eddie Guerrero really took off.
Yeah, and as far as people, as far as people who will become major players in the wrestling industry, one of the other matches on that show, Jericho beats Ghetto.
Yeah, Ghetto.
He
How
beats
about
Ghetto,
that?
the current booker of New Japan. And then you did have the thing with Mongo McMichael and Alex Wright. Deborah had turned on Mongo, and Alex Wright was like her new boy toy. And Mongo just wipes the floor with him. But then Deborah has the ace up her sleeve, and Bill Goldberg comes out and beats up Mongo.
Yeah.
And then Deborah gives him Mongo's Super Bowl ring. But then this is forgotten very quickly because Deborah
needs
and
to
Mongo
become-
got divorced in
yeah.
real life, and then she just disappeared
Yeah.
and showed up
Then-
in WWF.
Main event that year was Piper versus Hogan in a steel cage.
Non-title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Piper needed his win, and then they
Yeah.
want to give him the title.
And
That's so
Piper ended
dumb.
up winning via the sleeper choke,
They
but had Savage climbed the cage afterwards and jumped in.
Because he was
and
at
then
the yo.
Savage and Hogan started to attack Piper while inside the cage. But that wasn't exactly the highlight, because the highlight came later when a fan thought it was a great idea to climb in the cage and jump down and try to attack both of them,
Yeah,
and then
and-
was viciously beaten by Hogan and Savage.
Yeah, NWO Sting tackled him, and the fan just got the shit kicked out of him.
Oh.
Which is the thing about that is the match right before that
Was it on
was
the network still? The fan getting beat up?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's right there in the beatdown. Like, he jumped in trying to help Piper, and they just beat the hell out of
There's
him.
another good one with Eddie Guerrero versus Rob Van Dam on a ladder match during Raw, and a fan comes in and
Yeah, like, that was in like Canada, I think, too,
Yeah.
like
The,
Edmonton.
the
or
one I
something.
seen was Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Where
And
they gave him the legit right hand.
they were both in the ground like a ground hold,
Yeah.
and the guy slid in the ring, and Triple H beat the brakes off.
Well, there was one, and they didn't rough up the fan because of obviously. There was one. It was like a King of the Ring, I think, Michaels and Austin, where Michaels is coming out and there's like a special needs fan.
Oh, yeah.
who like tips over the guardrail and like help him up and everything.
It
That
looks.
was-
My friend used to joke about this. Don't worry, I'll be PC. Like you could tell Sean doesn't know at first because he goes over like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna punch this guy in
Right.
the face, and then he sees that he's like has Down syndrome or something,
Yeah.
and he's like nice guy. But Vince has the weirdest call. He's like somebody just fell. He's like a special Olympian. I'm like, why is he? Why is he a special Olympian?
Is that what Vince says?
Yeah, that's what he
Yeah.
said. A special Olympian has fallen over the guardrail. And I was like,
Wow.
and then the other
Wow.
thing, yeah.
Wow.
But before that match, you had, and this is one of my favorite WCW feuds at that time, like early NWO. You had Savage and DDP. They always had really
Yeah.
good matches together. Because this is like a little like inside baseball, I guess. But I from what I've heard, they're like two guys who love to plan their matches out, like
Yeah.
move for move, and they would always work really well together. And they had a match where I think it was like a last man standing match, and Hogan was dressed up as Sting and came out and helped Savage win too.
and like their thing was like, what do you want to do tonight, Randy?
Well, I think I'm gonna take the diamond cutter, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he
DDP
helped-
says that story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he really helped make Savage.
And then
And one of my favorite things for that feud too was when Kimberly Page did Playboy, and he's showing it up, and they have NWO like
Yeah.
over her naughty bits.
that led into 98, but before we get into 98, there was a lot of stuff happening in WCW at the time. We had the bit of the split of the Outsiders, if you will. There was a big rift there, and then we had a big debut
Wolfpack.
come in. Yeah. We had the Warrior.
Jeff Jarrell.
The Warrior debuted in WCW.
Okay, so we talked about the best match in WCW. Now this might be the worst.
Possibly.
Oh, yeah.
But we
Where
had...
Jeff Jarrett lays down.
No.
This is Warrior versus Hogan.
Yeah. But before that, we had Hall versus Nash, and Scott Hall ended up actually winning this match by countout because Kevin Nash dropped him with 2 jackknife power bombs, just walked out and said, "Screw it, you're not even worth it."
WCW booking.
Yep.
Yay.
But the next memorable match out of that was Hogan versus the Warrior, possibly being one of the worst matches those two have ever been in.
And think of the ground that covers with the Warrior.
Yeah. Hogan won this match by pinfall after Horace Hogan hit the Warrior in the back of the head with a chair.
And after Hogan tried to throw a fireball.
Yeah, and it didn't work, and then Warrior doesn't know what to do, and then he hits him with a double axe at the top or something.
And then we had
it's bad. It's real bad.
Bret Hart versus Sting. And Bret Hart beat Sting by knockout after he ended up knocking him out and then putting in a sharpshooter, and the referee just said he's out. He's out.
WCW, Tony.
Yeah, this is the way WCW works.
Realistically, those two guys at that point in time of their careers, you think should have been
that's gotta be a hot
That's
match.
a dream match.
Yeah.
should have been a 15-star match.
And then this pay-per-view was dubbed the infamous Blackout because the main event of the night was Goldberg versus DDP for the world title.
And guess when the pay-per-view ended? During their entrances.
Yeah.
The pay-per-view cut out. Nothing was seen after that. They had to re-air the entire match on Monday night because everybody called saying, we want a fucking refund.
Yeah.
They did not see the main event.
It might have been Goldberg's best match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a really good match.
Goldberg
Yeah,
and
it actually was a
DDP
good
put on a
match.
clinic, and Goldberg ended up retaining the world title.
That's WCW.
Now, when you say clinic, he wrestled 4 minutes.
Yeah. No, it was
No,
actually...
it was a good match.
About 15 minutes.
and
It was a solid match.
Really good
that's
match.
probably his best match.
Yeah.
And that I
DDP
I credit to DDP.
DDP really helped him through the match, but it was a great match for Goldberg.
And DDP started very late in his career.
Yeah.
He
He
started
was a
at
manager and
33.
everything.
Yeah.
And you can see him in WrestleMania 6 driving the pink Cadillac
Yeah.
for Rhythm and Blues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 1999, here he
This
comes.
is the final one.
The
No,
year
there's two more.
of much confusion.
Here he comes, 1999, the first Halloween Havoc with Vince Russo.
Oh, boy.
And let's go through some things. Sting wins the WCW World Title midway through the show because Hogan comes out in street clothes. This is not the Jeff Jarrett one. This is before that. He whispers in Sting's ear, lays down 1, 2, 3. Sting's the new champion. Later in the show, Goldberg wins
a
the U.S.
pay-per-view.
title. Yeah.
Beat Sid Vicious.
Beats Sid Vicious for the U.S. title. And then at the very end, Sting and Goldberg, and it's called a non-title match. Goldberg wins as announced as champion. Sting rightfully gets pissed and beats up the referee, Charles Robinson.
And then drops him with the fucking Scorpion Death Drop.
And then the next night on Nitro, now J.J. Dillon is the authority figure, and he says that Sting is stripped of the world title because he beat her up a referee, and now it's held up, and they did a tournament, and that's when Bret Hart won the title.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, one of the better matches on that card that you forgot
at
was DDP versus Ric Flair in a
At this
strap
point,
match.
Oh, yeah.
in this year, I was completely done with WCW because
Really?
it was awful.
Yeah, it got that.
And I checked out, and I didn't watch it till last night.
I think the last thing that kind of got some interest was when Hogan came back to the red and yellow, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
after that, it's
Yeah.
like,
But that strap match was a very good match. It ended up with DDP actually choking out Ric Flair with the strap.
And then the final Halloween Havoc, it goes out with a whimper and not a bang, is 2000.
Woof.
And it's the final Halloween Havoc.
I struggled to write this just because of how bad it all sounded.
Do we have a wall match on here?
You may have. I don't have the whole card.
There
here.
was an AWOL match.
Oh,
Not
okay.
a wall, the wall.
No,
he was AWOL.
He was
Misfits
AWOL.
in action.
Oh.
There was the Misfits in action. He was AWOL.
I think Andy blocked out Misfits in action entirely. There's plenty of it on here.
But one of the first matches was Buff Bagwell versus David Flair in a first blood DNA match.
This was when Miss Hancock, Stacy Keibler, was pregnant when she was supposed to be dating David Flair. I think they were really dating.
They were dating.
Good for you, David
So,
Flair.
so the highlight of this is watching
But
Stacey Keibler.
the match is supposed to be a first blood match, and Buff ends up hitting the blockbuster off the top, cheering, celebrating this, that, and the other, and out comes a returning Lex Luger.
Who was teaming with Bagwell for a little bit at the
Didn't
time.
someone accidentally get busted open in this match that almost ruined it?
I don't know.
I don't
Maybe.
think
I
so.
thought I read something
I think
about
that's
that.
But,
a match, maybe not this one.
Buff comes out, kind of gives the too sweet to Luger, thinking he's coming out to help him. Luger turns on him, throws him into the post, busts him open. David Flair grabs the DNA cup, scoops up the blood, wins the
Yeah,
match.
David Flair came out with the DNA cup so he can run it back and get it tested to see if Buff is the father of Stacy's
the
baby.
DNA cup. What is this?
One of the better matches was the following match, which was Vampiro Mike Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's
It
probably
was supposed to be for
And-
Mike Awesome's title shot, yeah.
The following night on Nitro, and that ended up in, and of course, an awesome bomb. And
Now, at this point, was Mike Awesome that 70s guy or the
Yeah.
Fat Chick Thriller? Cause
Fat Chick Thriller.
Oh,
Okay.
oh.
He was the Fat Chick Thriller.
Like Joey Styles said, I hope you counted that money and saved it.
And then some of the low light. Well, one of the other big matches.
The lowlights.
Booker T was the champion here. He beat Scott Steiner by DQ to retain the title.
That probably wasn't bad.
that was the main event.
You had a kickboxing match where
Easy.
Ernest
Cat
Bishop
Miller.
was out at this point. It was his kid's karate instructor,
Yeah.
Ernest Miller. putting his commissionership of WCW on the line,
Against Mike Sanders.
who was at this point was the cruiserweight champion.
Above average, which is a great name. Above
Yeah.
average, Mike Sanders.
And because his finisher was the 3.0. That's a B. And then
Jeff Jarrett versus Sting, and the many faces of Sting in this match.
well,
The decades of Sting come out and attack Sting.
Oh yeah, that's kind of cool though. I kind of like that.
Like
real quick, though.
early day Sting comes out and attacks him, and then like early '90s Sting comes out and
Wolfpack
attacks.
Sting.
It's like
Wolfpack Sting and Crow Sting.
it's like the Danny California music video of wrestling matches.
Yeah.
right.
But back to Mike Sanders and Ernest Miller. It's a kickboxing match that Mike Sanders wins by countout. Because Ernest Miller knocked him down, but then somebody came out and like started fighting with him outside, and then
Bro.
Mike Sanders got up and won by countout.
Bro, we'll hop the match and we'll count out. We'll get heat, brother. Heat.
But yeah, Sting ended up losing that match after he fought off all the other Stings, and
It is funny.
subsequently
If you
2
watch
guitar
it-
shots later.
If you watch it, it's quite.
He gets hit by fake Sting with a guitar, gets back in the ring, and then Jarrett hits him with another guitar, and good night, Sally.
And then you have a U.S. title match and a handicap match. It's General Hugh G. Rection. Get it? Which is Hugh Morris or Bill DeMott. He's in a handicap match against Team Canada's Lance Storm, the U.S. champion, and the man who had turned his back on America and become a Team Canada member, Hacksaw Jim Duggan,
Yeah, with a clean shave too.
with a clean shave and short hair.
Everything you're saying about this, I'm glad I didn't watch WCW.
General Rection actually...
No, let's get this straight. Up until 1997, it was a great pay-per-view.
Yeah.
98, 99, and 2000, forget about it.
Yeah. And Major Guns, who was...
Major Guns and Huge Erection.
yeah.
Get
Major
it?
Guns, huge erection.
They were all dick jokes.
And it was,
Corporal Cajun.
And Lieutenant Loco
Lieutenant
was Chavo.
Yeah.
Major Stash, which was Van Hammer.
And then they added Booker T as GI Bro.
G.I.
then.
Bro.
What was
Now-
which was
AWOL?
his
Was he
original gimmick.
Sergeant AWOL.
Sergeant AWOL.
Now the thing with Major Stash, which was Van Hammer, he was supposed to be Private Stash, but Van Hammer complained because he didn't want a low rank.
You're already fucking Van Hammer. You know?
But yeah, huge erection. From Hugh Morris to huge erection.
And there was some kind of match where Major Guns, who was Tylene Buck, who was like this like porn,
Yeah.
softcore, like
there was nothing softcore about what she
oh
said.
yeah.
She's gone on to do full porn.
Yeah, she
Tylene Buck.
she was Major Guns. She
At,
was
at the real Tylene Buck on Twitter, and you
Yeah.
can see.
she was
Anything you want.
She's
She-
still good looking
yeah,
too.
she was
Really?
the Misfits
Oh,
in
yeah.
Action's manager, and then she got like kidnapped or lost a match where she was property of Team Canada, and
Put it in the group chat.
and they had her on the line here. So not only could General Erection win the U.S. title, but he could win back Major Guns, and he did win over Lance Storm and Hacksaw
With an
Jim
assist.
Duggan
With an assist.
by.
A Huge Erection.
Major Guns.
Oh yeah, Major Guns helped. Yeah, and then in the final ever Halloween Havoc match in a handicap match, Goldberg defeats Chronic.
Woof.
This was at a point where I think Goldberg had to. They did a thing where to get a title shot, he had to match his old streak of 100 whatever wins, and if he lost a match, he had to retire. And he did beat Chronic, and that was
Together.
just keeping that
See,
going.
that's the thing
Yep,
that killed
handicap
me
match.
because
in like 4 minutes.
Crushing Adam
Chronic
Bomb.
was one of the better tag teams in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
They did take two job guys and made them something.
They traveled the world and they were the top team for a while, weren't they?
Chronic was pretty good. And they had a hot cup of coffee in WWE.
Oh, they had a match.
Yeah,
where
a
like
match.
Richards was their manager, and they wrestled Undertaker and Kane.
Yeah.
And beat 'em.
And no, they lost. And
did they?
Undertaker's like they don't know how to work.
They didn't put them over at all, and as soon as that match was over and Taker said I don't like them, they were gone.
They wanted to send them to either OVW or HWA, and they wouldn't go, and that was it.
At that point in WCW, they were probably the top tag team.
Yeah, probably, yeah. And then you had O'Hare and Palumbo.
Yeah. Oh, Brian Clark. That's Wrath, right?
Stasiak.
Yeah, that's right. Adam Bomb.
He had
yeah.
such a cool look, but he wasn't that good.
Yeah, if you look back when he was like the Night Stalker, he did one of the
Adam
Starcade
Bomb
Battle
was cool.
Bowls.
Yeah.
It was
was
Adam
cool.
Bomb and Kona Crush, right? That'd
Yeah.
be the
Yeah,
two
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
Stasiak was in a pretty solid tag team back then.
Perfect event, or
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
and Palumbo. Yeah,
Stasiak
All right.
kinda
Well,
sucked, though.
let's bring it home, boys. Anything
Yeah.
else for Halloween Havoc you want to add?
that's pretty much everything.
Yeah,
That's the highlights of it. And
We
some of the
literally
lowlights.
just grabbed the top highlights and some of the bad lowlights, and we just threw it together into a summary.
At the one of the setups, they have tombstones.
Yeah, they would always
And
have
they would write names of like old promoters, like Crockett was on there and stuff. They'd always have like little
Halloween
digs of people,
Havoc
too.
had some of the better set
Yeah.
production
It
for
was
a
always
WCW
fun.
pay per view.
Yeah.
So what do you got to plug, Andy?
Okay, so I'll plug my podcast. Well, not this podcast. Call it The Power Ring. New episode will be out Friday, Saturday. I don't know which day. It depends. It's here and there. And then we'll be at RCW, but I didn't actually write that.
And
it's in Reading. That's where
message
we're
Andy
wrestling.
for a T-shirt.
Yeah, we'll be selling shirts. We'll have blue ones and black ones tomorrow. So send me a message, and we'll have all sizes from small to 4X this time. How about that?
Hey.
Dave?
This Sunday is the first Sunday of the month. Ambets in Pottsville, 1300 Seneca Street. Your all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet starting at 7 a.m., running till 12, $9, all you can eat. Next Saturday, we will be at PPW for the Impact taping, hopefully.
Yeah.
And if nobody's doing anything after that, or if you're not going to that, go check out the Buckhorn in St. Clair on Front Street. They are having their annual karaoke night.
I think we're going to be leaving the PPW show and come back and watch an AEW, right? That's how we're doing it.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. So, and then we'll have a ride home podcast for that one.
Yeah. We'll do that again.
Brian.
Murder, my dude. Hey, you said at the very top of the show, we just celebrated our first anniversary, episode 43, I think. We did Salem Witch Trials.
What do
for
you guys
Halloween.
do? 2 episodes a month?
Cool.
We had like a month and a half off there. But yeah, we actually did 2 episodes because I fucked up the recording on the first one, and we did a second one, but we threw up the first one too, just if you like that audio.
bonus, yeah.
I've come bearing gifts as well. Murder My Dude buttons for everyone.
Nice.
We don't only have tornado tag buttons. There's one. I know I gave one
these
earlier.
are-
There's
these are
one for
nice.
Heidi.
Thank you.
Hey, isn't the Tornado Tag 1-year anniversary coming up, or has it passed?
No.
A few extra for you?
So this
November.
this
Behind the
Sunday, this Sunday will be technically our first show
Thank you.
of the network's anniversary.
You're welcome.
So the very first show we've ever done as a network was 10-8 round, and it would the first episode was shot would be the year anniversary would be this Sunday.
Who?
Yeah, 10-8 round podcast. So
Who?
10-8 round technically is at their 1 year.
Who?
Wow.
Yeah. We get it. 10-8 round. It's no longer in our network, but it's still a channel, and they're still
Okay.
still doing stuff.
They say, what's the rule 3? Is a joke is funny 3 times.
Yeah.
Then it's not funny again until 12 times or something like that.
Yeah, you're pushing it.
Yeah.
With everything with the 17. But yeah, so technically our network. I mean, listen, I'm not part of the 10-8 round. I still support that
When?
show.
Do they actually still make shows?
Not
Why?
as often as they
Okay.
not as often as they do. They I think I would
and
like
there.
them to.
Here and there.
I think Tanner does an amazing job doing the the MMA betting, and I wish he would do it more because I think he's really good at it. But they officially hit their 1 year mark, and I am very the time that I had doing that show.
Yeah.
I am very proud of it, and I'm very proud of how we built it up. But it's out of my hands now, and I wish them the best of luck. And they just hit their 1 year anniversary, so I'm very very proud of that.
Congratulations, 10-8 round.
Yeah,
shared.
and then so technically it would be our network's 1 year anniversary is this Sunday, but each show's anniversary has not come up yet. Yeah. So that'll do it here for us. Like I said, hit that merch page and help us out a little bit. You can also donate on Anchor. If you go to if you listen to the show on Anchor, they do have a thing where you can subscribe to our channel and do a monthly subscription, and it helps us out. If you want to do that, it is an option. And then also you can just buy some merch. It's on the page. Everything in the links below will be there. Thank you once again to Desean Pratt for calling in. And
That was a very good interview.
yeah.
Thanks. Thank you, Desean.
and we'll see you next week. That'll wrap it up.
Peace.
Goodbye.